and Mike Salk.
All right, hello. Good morning, everybody. Brock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports, 710, seattlesports.com. The Seattle Sports application and all the podcast platforms, all of them, everywhere. YouTube, even for full-on video. And then you can always check out 97.3 HD2 in Seattle for crystal clear high-definition radio. Thanks for joining us wherever you do. We appreciate it on a formal Friday. Let's see. We got fun stuff today. We got Kevin Seitzer's going to be with us. Do you think he's doing a good job as of right now? If you had to give like an approval rating on Mariner hitting coach Kevin Seitzer, your approval rating would be 100? I mean, like, I don't know what else you could possibly ask. I guess Julio's not hitting at an MVP level, so you want to take a little point off or two.
Recently, yeah.
He's starting to hit now. But
let's really complain.
Let's complain. It's fun. Let's complain. No, he's been doing great, obviously, and he will join us at 8:30 this morning. Got a bunch of texts to start today, and we do have Brock on a Friday for most of the show, which should be fun. Salk, listening to the show later in the evening, this Mariners season is similar to 2001. Now, obviously, that team won more games, 20 every month, but they had a focus out of spring training on getting series wins. They knew they weren't going to win every game, but wanted to win every series. And the fact that this year's Mariners are winning series after series is very similar. Both teams had a fight in them that no lead was safe, and the more they won, the more they believed they could win. Not a team of superstars, but a group of players that complemented each other very well. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I wasn't here for it all, but it just kind of struck me that for all of the 1995 conversations we don't get a lot of 2001. It's not, considering how many games they won, it's not talked about all that often. The 95 team, for obvious reasons, is, and that's fine. I mean, mostly. But, like, this team does seem to bear a little bit more of that resemblance of, like, that came out of the gate super hot, and it's not necessarily a team that was predicted or expected to do what they've done so far. We'll see if they can keep it going. 206 asking, hey, Salk, is it worth it to try the new recipe of the chocolate eruption cake at Whole Foods? Also, have you tried the banana bread Pop-Tarts, just reminiscing on the banana era from the Mike Salk Show? All right, let's address both of these. Banana bread Pop-Tarts no. Did you get the banana bread ones?
We got were just banana, yeah.
They were just banana. So, no, I don't think I've had the banana bread Pop-Tarts, although that sounds delicious. Maura just got these regular banana Pop-Tarts. They were good. I mean, I liked them. Everyone else thought they were disgusting. I really like them. But if there's a banana bread Pop-Tart, I'm certainly not averse to trying that. That sounds pretty good. Now, as for the new recipe of the chocolate eruption cake, yeah, it's still worth it, but it's not as good as what it was. And I can't tell you, I can't stress enough. I personally like make sure you leave some out. Try it, not stale, but then cut a slice so that it gets a lot of air on it and leave it out overnight and see if you like that better. I really like a little staleness in my chocolate eruption cake. But no, the new recipe, not as good. Doesn't have the white in it that really seemed to like offset the chocolate, but it's good. It's just not as good. Just not as good. And then I thought there was one other here I wanted to get to. I don't know, maybe not. That's all right. No, I don't have it. Okay. Before we do hear from Jordan Palmer, who was awesome, I also wanted to just quickly go over this. Mariners are home again tonight, but I saw this little exchange that speaks to something I've been kind of talking about for a while, and I know it's been quiet, but I'm always amazed how many people ask me about this. So I thought I'd just throw it out there again. This is a back and forth on Twitter between Buster Olney, who you all know as the ESPN baseball insider, longtime ESPN, maybe the senior at this point ESPN baseball insider. I don't know. I think he probably is. And Dejan Kovacevic, who I really like. He's been on the show before. He's kind of like, I don't know, for me anyway, he's like the dean of Pittsburgh sports. He used to work at one of the big papers there, and he broke off and started his own site. And it's just done incredibly well over the years, and he's hired like half the best staff from around that city. And he used to cover the Pirates. He's sort of a thorn in their side for obvious reasons. And Yeah. So anyway, he has this back and forth where Buster says over the last 7 seasons, the Pirates have spent about $200 million less in payroll than the Milwaukee Brewers, which is something. I mean, the Brewers are in the bottom third of payroll, and to have spent $200 million less than the Brewers is probably not a great sign. So that's what Buster writes. And these two guys have gone back and forth about this before. So Dejan writes back, "You're finally getting warm, Buster. Now do Brewers versus Dodgers. Then do Packers versus Cowboys. You'll get there." He's obviously a big, payroll matters guy. And Buster writes back, "You seem to be under the delusion that this is something that can be opined into existence. It's a CBA issue, negotiated by owners and the players, and you will never see an MLB structure in which the Yankees and Dodgers are allowed to spend the same as the Pirates. The players in big markets wouldn't let it happen." Okay. I think the first part of it is true. On spending, it won't be opined into existence. I agree with him on that. Right? I mean, no number of opinions from people out there are going to change the way owners or players feel about their CBA. Just not going to happen. It's fun to give your opinion, but that doesn't mean that it's going to change their view on that. Money is going to rule the world. But as for whether or not it is going to happen, I totally disagree with Buster. 1,000%. I think it is going to happen. And I'm going to keep beating the drum, not just because I want it to, but because I legitimately think it will. I think it's going to have to. Kovacevic's reply, by the way, is, "You seem to be under the delusion that this hasn't already happened in every other league in North America, in part because the big markets are easily sold on keeping even more money, and in part because more players make more money. Look it up. NFL, NHL, NBA, all three." Obviously, he's right about the last part. I've gone through this many times. I'll go through it again, not because necessarily I want it to happen, but just because I think it's going to. Whether you think it's right or not, baseball teams do not have the same level of income that they used to. They are not bringing in as much money. The amount of money they were bringing in from the RSNs, the regional sports networks, their TV deals, was enormous. And it was being essentially supplemented by lots of non-baseball fans who had the package that paid out the money. Regardless of ratings, regardless of whether they even knew they were paying for it, people all around America have been paying the bill for baseball teams for decades. And that's what has brought in a tremendous amount of money to a sport that doesn't have a great national TV deal. Certainly not compared to the others. It's not a big-time national sport in that way. It's just not viewed that way. Well, maybe you've heard that some people have cut the cords. Obviously, that's had a profound effect. I'm not talking about Mariners. I'm talking big picture Major League Baseball. It's had a profound effect on many, if not most, of the teams in baseball. It's not all of them, and I won't go through all the details on why the Dodgers and, a couple of teams are going to be exempt from this. But in general, that's what's happened. And I just believe in my heart that as owners realize that their teams aren't worth as much as teams in other sports, they're in debt. Check out that story on the Twins where they're $350 million in debt and they only have a $3 billion valuation. They're not the only one. Debt in baseball is a very under-discussed conversation. And a lot of the teams around the league have a lot of debt. Well, they're not just going to let that go on forever. Yes, they're going to look for things like private equity to bring some money into baseball. But ultimately, I do believe in a couple of years, the owners are going to try to reset this market. The owners are going to try to reset this market. And they will, I believe, lock out the players for a full year if they have to. I think we will have a lost season. But they are going to break this thing. I really, truly believe that's going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, I can't predict the future. But I just think the owners are finally going to say this is ridiculous. And I think fans in a lot of markets like Pittsburgh are going to be, incredibly loud about it. I don't know whether, again, as Buster said, you can opine it into existence. But I think they are going to be very, 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 very loud about trying to make it happen. So anyway, that's just kind of what's on my mind this morning. We'll see. We'll see where it all goes down. And look, if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, wouldn't you want this to be true? The Toronto Blue Jays are spending, hold on, I have it in my notes. I have this in Need to Know because they're coming in town tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays are spending $246 million this year. They're fifth in baseball, and they stink on ice. You don't think that the ownership of the Toronto Blue Jays would like to even that out so they don't have to spend more than almost $100 million more than the Mariners are to stink, to be significantly worse? I just think it's going to change at some point. I really do. All right, I'll come back. I'll give you the rest of that story and Need to Know as the Blue Jays arrive tonight. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Even the guys that if you look at their average and go, ugh, they're not off to a good start, look at the on base. This team has been outstanding at working the pitcher, at taking walks. You look at Randy Arozarena, for instance. He's had huge hits. He's had some big moments that have been game-winning moments, but overall, he's not hitting that well. He's hitting 208, but he's got a 359 on base.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Bobby, who was hurt riding the bus.
The bus made a left turn, and the scooter that I was on overturned. Ended up having surgery on my back. So I knocked on the door of Warrior Injury Law, and I thought if anyone could help me with my situation, they could, and they did. They everyday people who work for everyday people. I would recommend this company over all the rest.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
Up play. Air Williamson reels it in.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and that 2-2 on the way to Young. It is strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here for this week's Mariners homestand. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the Blue Jays tonight through Sunday. Then Aaron Judge and the Yankees are in town for a 3-game set Monday through Wednesday. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets for these back-to-back AL East showdowns at T-Mobile Park.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Hey, Chris Candy here. My mom goes out of her way to make me happy, so this year I'm returning the favor with a bouquet from the Books Company. Their flowers are cut fresh from the best farms, so they grow bigger, brighter, and last way longer. It's easy. Pick your bouquet, delivery date, and done. Mother's Day is May 11th, so order your Books now. Go to Books.com. Use promo code CANTY for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Books, promo code CANTY.
All power, zero compromise. Eagle cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor Installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
This hour is brought to you by Community Transit.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, always a treat to have a little day off before taking on what should be a tired Blue Jays team, far from home, and coming in late from Anaheim last night. They did win that game, but still, the Jays have been scuffling this year. They're probably not going to be aided by the lack of sleep. Two teams are not where many would have predicted before the season. The Mariners 7th in runs scored. The Jays, number 26. This is all heading into last night. There are a lot of stats that'll help you get there, but the most telling to me would be the Mariners have hit twice as many home runs. Yes, twice as many home runs as the Jays. Heading into last night again, 51-25. Mariners are 4th in the league in home runs. The Blue Jays, dead last, as Adnan Virk said yesterday of MLB Network. Their offense has not been very good.
Well, the Jays right now, their lack of power is just horrendous. I mean, they've been out homered 51-25. Vladimir Guerrero was given this $500 million contract, and he is on pace for 19 home runs. This is after averaging 34 home runs over his last 4 seasons. So he has not been the same power hitter. Bo Bichette's been even worse. He has 1 home run so far this year, and he's been healthy. He's played. He just hasn't been effective. I mentioned Santander's yet to get going. Springer's been better, but still only 4 home runs. So their offense is really lackluster. They're scoring the 3rd fewest runs in baseball.
They did hit a home run last night, so I guess now it's 51-26. It's not quite double. Credit Dalton Varsho with a solo shot last night in the Blue Jays 8-5 win, but still, you get the idea. And by the way, the edge is not that significantly different in pitching. Mariners are 11th in ERA, Toronto 24th. So you add it up, and you get one good team and one bad one. The Blue Jays fans, ownership, I'd expect a little bit more out of $246 million, wouldn't you? That's 5th in baseball. If I had to guess, and I'm just an outside observer, it doesn't feel like their manager is going to be in that chair for very much longer. If I were Blue Jays management, I would be moving on. I don't think you can spend $246 million and get the product that they are paying for right now. Game 1 tonight, Luis Castillo against Kevin Gossman in the opener. Shades of 2022 with those two guys. Should be a fun weekend at the ballpark.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Are you ready for another round of Jadeveon Clowney conversations? Anybody? Can I pique your interest? The often available former Seahawk is back on the market after being released in Carolina yesterday. 32 years old. He did have 5.5 sacks in 14 games last year, so It's hard to say that he's toast, right? But there's obvious history here in Seattle, obviously in Baltimore with Mike McDonald. I'd say no. I'd say this is a no for me. You guys can certainly disagree, but I just think the team is pretty well set on the edge with 4 at least starter quality players. None of them are superstars, but I don't think Jadeveon Clowney is going to be a superstar at this stage of his career ever again. So I'd be surprised if this is how they choose to spend their extra money. Not when they have needs. They have legitimate needs, and it should be on the lookout at corner, at center, off-ball linebacker where they don't have a lot of depth. Like, those are positions where you actually have a concern. I can't see investing anything else in Jadeveon Clowney at this point for this team. We've talked a lot about the interior of that offensive line for good reason. Mark Schlereth, who was a pretty good guard himself, spoke yesterday to Bob and Dave about guards right now in the NFL.
Guards have been getting paid, and I mean paid handsomely. And I think part of the whole concept is, one, a lot of the NFL is a quick passing game. It's really morphed in from the college game, right? So it's all this quick 3-step, out of gun, got to have a strong pocket. You got to have a pocket that doesn't get pushed in the lap of the quarterback, and the guy's got to be able to step up, get away from those edge rushers who are the best, and find avenues to throw the ball and to manipulate the pocket inside.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And again, I think it's one of the reasons we've spent so much time talking about it, right? Like, yeah, guards are important. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you think they're overpaid or overdrafted or overvalued, but that's a good description there from a former guard explaining why the position has changed and become more valuable recently in the NFL, and why I like the drafting so much of Gray Zabel, and we'll talk a lot more about him.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, 2 kind of cool stories. One, local legend, Sue Bird, named managing director of the USA women's basketball team. So this is a new position. It'll essentially involve picking the coaches and the players for major international contests. So that used to be done by committee. Now it'll just be done by Sue Bird. And that's kind of what the men's side does. Grant Hill makes all of those decisions for USA men's basketball. Her statement was, I played for USA basketball for so long, and I always really enjoyed my time with them. I love representing my country. I love being competitive on that stage. To have the opportunity to do it in a different role is exciting. Well, hopefully she remembers to put Caitlin Clark on the team, something they forgot to do the last time. And then finally, I just like this story more. Thanks for sending it over. And I don't like to give credit to an NFC West rival, but I like what the Rams are doing. They're going to do one of their mandatory mini camps on Maui. Pretty cool. 2 areas obviously significantly affected by fires in the last couple of years. And first of all, cool deal for the players, right? Hey, you want to come to minicamp? It's going to be on Maui. No more beautiful place in the world. But also, they're doing a ton of stuff for the community there.
For us as an organization that likes to push the envelope, but first, the idea of taking our entire organization to Maui to celebrate the end of the offseason, our players, our coaches, their hard work, to bring them together, to give our fans a chance to really travel with the Rams, to come be part of this week, to celebrate with our team, to be around it. It's so different than the regular season when we travel. It's focused on playing a game and getting a win. This is really going to be a celebration of all things Rams, a partnership with the state of Hawaii, with Hawaii Tourism Authority, and really bringing joy to the community of Maui.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're doing some local outreach stuff there as well. Girls flag football teams and a bunch of cool stuff. So, I'm sorry. That was Kevin Demoff, the Rams president. I don't mean to compliment our rivals here. Generally, I hate the Rams, but it's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, what are they going on vacation or are they playing football? But yeah, they said some of the players are going to help rebuild a few houses while they're there.
Pretty cool.
It seems like a cool idea.
It's very cool, and just a good thing to do, to point out that Lahaina and the people of Maui do need tourism. They need it. They need people there. So if you're thinking about a vacation, feel free to head over to Maui. It's a pretty good spot to be. That is everything you need to know, 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I should also mention that, as we know, the Mariners are back. I just talked all about it starting tonight. There's a big 6-game homestand. Blue Jays, Yankees, and would you like to hear about any of these special theme nights? Because there's exclusive giveaways. There's all sorts of stuff going on. We'll start with tonight. I'll give these maybe throughout the course of the day. But tonight, college night. So if you're a college student, well, you're probably not up at 6:25. But if you're listening to this later, tonight is college night. $20 student tickets and and a neon hat with the exclusive online offer. Who doesn't want a neon hat to bring back to college? So that is tonight. I'll give you tomorrow, too. Tomorrow, in case it's too late for you to get there tonight. Tomorrow, come on, this can't be real. Tomorrow is Maple Grove night, so I think Stick Riz will be there. James Paxton is going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. You can score there's a Maple Grove t-shirt, oh my gosh, with the exclusive online offer by going to mariners.com/tickets. Okay. Coming up, this was one of the more unique interviews I think we've done in a long time. I learned a lot listening to Jordan Palmer, quarterback guru, quarterback coach, and a guy with a lot of insight into the Seahawks quarterback room. Stick around. That's next on Brock and Salk.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do. Incredible comeback again from this group. At bat by at bat, and they find a way.
Tonight, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. One of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
This is a show that has my name on it.
It's kind of tough, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
Hello! All right, we're waiting just a moment here on Jordan Palmer, quarterback guru. Works with both big-name Seahawks quarterbacks, right? Both Sam Darnold and now Jalen Milroe. But his kind of claim to fame is Josh Allen, right? That's the guy where it's really kind of worked out as well as it could. And he takes a few minutes to join us right now. Jordan, good morning. Thanks for jumping on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Some would say Salk, his claim to fame was making his older brother.
Oh.
Yeah, he was really the one that taught him everything he knows.
Is that true?
It's what little brothers do to older brothers. I know that feeling, right?
No, I think I probably, I'm like 5 years younger, so I probably tattled on him enough to make my mom mad to like keep him in line. I mean, I'll own that. Whatever role that played in his development, but yeah, it didn't really help him too much with the quarterback thing.
All right, well, tell us about this Jalen Milroe kid. I've been fascinated with the conversation. What can he be?
Well, I'm not big on when it comes to evaluating players, just looking like at ceilings. I think it's easy in the media, right? What can this person be from a ceiling perspective? But I think with Jalen, it's hard to ignore it because I think there's some things that personally I haven't seen before in terms of a guy that runs 4.3 that is built like him. Those are typically skinny guys. Those are littler guys. I think he's got, particularly coming out of the draft, I think he's got 15, 20 pounds on Lamar. But I think what jumps out and makes me feel like Jalen has, the trajectory that he does is actually not even physical. I just think it's who he is as a guy. And the coaches obviously felt that in the front office. That's why they drafted him. The teammates will feel that as they get to know him better. And I think you guys in the media will as well, that as unique as his physical traits are in terms of his explosiveness, top-end speed, arm talent, and just how dynamic he is, I actually think the traits that are most unique are, on the personality side of things in terms of he's like a magnet. He's incredibly likable, but he comes from this military background of, it's not even about discipline. It's so much about just finishing what you started, doing what you said you were going to do, and accountability. And those are the things that I think in today's day and age, when you got young players making money in high school and college, that I don't see as often. And that's really what jumped out to me as I got to know Jalen last year.
You know, it's really cool. And Jordan texted me, Salk, before the show a little bit. And I knew a fair amount of this, but I didn't know the lengths that you go to, not just with guys coming in to train with you for 3 days, but the amount of time on task you spend, right, studying their tape and helping them throughout the entirety of a season. It's really cool. And when you study Jalen, you know, Salk rattled off the completion percentage numbers to me, and they're really high. You know, he was like a 67%.
64.3,
okay,
I think it was.
I mean, mid-60s, which then, Jordan, when I watched the Combine and when I watched the Senior Bowl and, you know, you kind of sprayed the ball, I was like, that doesn't really add up. So as you studied him, and when he does miss, is there a consistent fundamental thing there to clean up? You know, can he be a guy that can be a refined passer at this next level?
Well, absolutely, I believe that. But I'll use this as my soapbox. Here's what's wrong with the evaluation on the media side of things, even former players, Brock, and certainly fans, is I think we assume that throwing mechanics are in one of two stages. They're either not clean, whatever term you want to use. They're not cleaned up. They're not refined. Or there's like this imaginary threshold where they now are refined, right? So you look at somebody and you go, oh, he's got a lot to clean up. And then you look at whoever you think's really good in the NFL and you go, oh, he's good. Your mechanics, how you throw, and mechanics is not oversimplified into throwing mechanics. There's a lot of elements to it. There's your force transfer sequence, how you transfer force through the ground. We do it 3 ways. We do it laterally, we do it rotationally, we do it vertically. That's it. There's a sequence to that. And then there's, to get nerdy, a kinematic throwing sequence. So that is your pelvis turns, your trunk rotates, your elbow extends, and your shoulder internally rotates. That's a 4-step sequence. That sequence. And then there's just the feel and the touch and the control of how the ball comes off your hand. The reason I get all nerdy and say all that is there is no clean or not clean on mechanics. Every single person in the NFL, it's an evolution. Every year they should be throwing it different. They should be refining things. Pull up some old Tom Brady tape. Pull up early Tom Brady tape after he won a Super Bowl, when his mechanics should be clean, right? Because he won a Super Bowl. It looks like a different player. And so I think every quarterback, certainly that I work with, from a mechanical perspective, is on an evolution. What I do is come in and help expedite that process. And so with Jalen, I think there are elements of his throwing mechanics that are really, really clean and really consistent. And like every other quarterback in the NFL, there's some that need refinement. And it's not even refinement. It's building out that sequence further. And then the next phase is getting more comfortable with it, where you can repeat that pattern. And then you get to the point where you go repeat that pattern, whether your feet are in the right spot or not. And every quarterback is on the journey of all of those sequences and all the elements of throwing. It is an evolution. Every year your throwing motion should evolve. I started working with Sam Darnold, met him when he was 14, started working with him really his freshman year in college. And he lives down the street from me. That's every single offseason. I've thrown with Sam Darnold 10 times more than I've thrown with the second most guy. And he's still evolving the things that he worked on this offseason. A lot more minute than some of the guys coming into the league right now. But it's still a constant evolution.
Talking to Jordan Palmer, maybe the first pelvis reference we've had on the show in a while, which is good. We don't get a lot of pelvis references. Sure? I can't think of one.
Yeah, and you want to make sure you measure the angular velocity in degrees per second, and they want that separation between 8 and 12 degrees.
All right, Salk's memory's so bad. You don't remember Michael Bennett's 3-pump pelvis?
I do, I guess, yes. I said in a while. I didn't say ever, just in a while. So help me here.
That's the first Michael Bennett reference I've heard in a while.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. Listen to the show. You might get more than you think. If for a layman, for someone like me, I didn't play quarterback in the NFL. I didn't come anywhere near the NFL. For a layman, for a common fan, for anyone else, as we are watching Milroe, what should we be looking at to let us know he's succeeding, improving, on the right track? What should I be looking for?
Well, I think if you go through like the life cycle of a quarterback, okay, let's say Jalen, he was a big-time recruit, went to a big-time school, and was a third-round pick. So if you think about in high school, how does a high school quarterback get on the college radar, get big-time offers, get on the Elite 11 radar? Well, it's largely playmaking, right? I'm on the Elite 11 staff. We look at highlights a lot of times, right? And so you go through this process where the rewards-based system is off of playmaking, right? Your highlights, so making plays. Nobody posts full games on Twitter when they're in high school. They post their highlights, okay? And then how do you get to be drafted high? Well, there's a lot of elements of it, right? Who you are but the body of work, it's not just highlights, but that's certainly helpful. That is how you win a Heisman, right? You don't win a Heisman by taking the check down every time. And so the rewards-based system in college is largely playmaking. And then it's also kind of learning how to put the ball in play. And then you get to the NFL, and it's pretty much all about putting the ball in play. And if you can make highlight plays, awesome, but I need you to put the ball in play. And so there's the evolution of the American quarterback. And so when I work with clients that are transitioning into the NFL, well, when I work with clients that are going from one level to the next, high school to college or college to pro, it should be an evolution of them transitioning from a playmaker to a guy whose foundation is putting the ball in play.
What does that mean?
So what I'm going to be watching,
just real quick, what do you mean when you say putting the ball in play? What does that mean?
Taking what they give you, being totally fine, just distributing the football. Okay. Now, that's going to play out in completion percentage, but even completion percentage can be misleading with, your receivers catching the ball and all that. But when I watch tape of when you throw the ball and it hits the guy's hands, even if I don't know your offense, because I watch every snap of all of my clients' games. I don't know everybody's offense. I don't know what the coach told them to do on that play. But when the ball hits the receiver's hands, is that the most open guy? And does that even just to me make sense why the ball went there? So distributing the football, essentially replacing defenders with the ball. And then in man coverage, that's where you talk about accuracy, timing, and the tempo on the ball. So I want to see any young player, Jalen included, the evolution of them become a guy where we're no longer relying on making plays and making something happen. I'm just dead set on putting the ball in play, distributing it. There's absolutely an element of accuracy to that because I can't keep throwing the flat route if I slow him down or have him jump or have him dive to catch it. But that's where all of it comes together. But it's the mindset of the way you win in the NFL is by distributing the football and putting it in play and not relying on your ability to make plays.
Poster child for that might just be Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings 2024. Right? I mean, in many ways of what you're talking about there, and speak of his evolution, big-time recruit, USC, Heisman contender, top 5 pick in the draft, and going from playmaker to game manager, as crazy as that sounds. Wasn't that a huge, huge part of Sam's journey last year?
Yeah, I think this got popular on internet a few years ago, people, debating the definition of the term game manager, but I've always thought it was a compliment. I think Tom Brady is the best game manager of all time. He's also the best quarterback of all time. Those are the same thing to me. And yeah, I think with Sam Darnold, I mean, nobody's watched every snap like me. And I'm for full disclosure here, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm his number one fan. Okay, so
I think we got that.
But I'll give you as many facts as possible. So, I realized that when Sam went to San Fran, that was probably the first time that he really was coached. And I know that sounds crazy to fans when they go, "What are you talking about? He's in the NFL." Brock, you probably relate to this. Yeah. But learning, that was the first time his footwork lined up with the concept. And Brock, it's crazy how many offensive coordinators are in the league right now who let the quarterback do whatever drop they want, whether they want to do it that way or not. And so with Sam, he goes to San Francisco, and the fan base, fans-wise, it was like, oh, he's the backup. He didn't do it. I think it clicked for Sam going into San Fran. And what we do together is, in a nutshell, is eliminate unnecessary movement and remove momentum from their game. I believe this whole game is about movement. And if you miss and you're talented, you probably put yourself in a position to miss. So it's the movement that precedes the throw that typically causes the mechanical issue. And so with Sam, all of that clicked going into San Fran because it was a mess. He had 5 coordinators in 5 years before that. And then he backed up Brock. But he also got a chance to be on a team that went to the Super Bowl and be a part of that every single day and go against those guys every single day and see the way that was the first time he'd won. They didn't really win at San Clemente High School. They didn't really win at SC outside of him being a playmaker and rattling off 9 straight wins in a Rose Bowl year. And they never won in New York or in Carolina. So we've never really been around a winning culture. Then goes to Minnesota last year, and it's similar footwork. It's coached similarly, high-level football conversations happening, and a winning culture, and he brought his own element to that. And from an encouragement standpoint, I try and give my clients like a quote to hold on to. And I have different ones for different guys. And the quote, every word's purposeful in it, and it's something that they can look at, think about, and work on every day because there's elements of them. And for Sam, for years, because as long as I've known him, he's never cut a corner. He's never showed up late. He's never canceled a workout because he's got something going on. He is as literally as consistent of a professional athlete as I've ever been around, and that's including my brother. And I've been telling him for years that here's his quote: there will be a time and a place where all you have to do is play to the best of your abilities, and you'll be in every game with a chance to make a run at the end. And every year I thought it would be the year, and then turns out last year was the first time. His 4th team in 7 years or whatever it is was the first time that happened, and look what happened. And so my hope is in Seattle, not just this year, but as the years come, that's the situation they'll be in, because you put that type of player in that type of situation, and you got a chance to make a run at the end.
It's pretty cool. All I know is a lot of the Seahawks' success this year depends on you. Sort of what it seems like. I mean, like, you got both these guys, so we're counting on you.
Where I have everybody in the room. I did Drew Lock's draft prep, too.
Did you? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow. All right. Well,
it's all on you, Jordan. Good luck.
We're going to blame you if everything goes awry, but we're really going to give you a lot of credit if this team makes the playoffs.
I'm far enough away where I could care less.
Hey, Jordan, thank you. Awesome. This was fascinating. A lot of great response here from listeners as well. We appreciate it, and we'd love to have you back as this season gets underway and talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah, can I add one thing real quick?
Please.
I have a lot of Seahawks fan friends, and I went to – now, my brother was 3-0 up there.
Yeah.
But I went to all those games, and definitely one of the best fan bases. One of my best friends in the world was Trevor Moad, who was Russell's performance psychologist up there for all those years. So intimately involved. Known Pete since I was in 8th grade. And here's what I'll say. I actually think, and I'll throw Drew in this too, but Sam and Jalen, from a consistency, work ethic, leadership, and those are, cover all terms. That might be one of the best rooms in the league, and you only go as far as that room goes. And if I'm a Seahawks fan, I know it's not exciting to get pumped up about high character, but from a character perspective, leadership, all those things, which are generic cliche terms that we just throw around, I actually think the Seahawks have one of the best rooms in the league. And if I'm a Seahawks fan this time of year and I'm looking for stuff to be excited about, be pumped on that.
Pretty cool. Hey, Jordan, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll hopefully talk again. And there he is, Jordan Palmer. I thought that was really interesting, and it's rare for us to go back a couple days for an interview, but we kind of didn't have time last few days, et cetera, and I was kind of blown away by a lot of what he said. And I'll admit, I've said this now a couple times, I'm pretty intrigued by Jalen Milroe. I'm pretty intrigued, probably more than I should be, and I recognize that. I recognize that I have been a little over the top. Like, I'm not sitting here predicting he's going to be the future, and I know I'm aware of the very real flaws in his game that may not translate to the NFL. I get it. And he may have specific qualities and traits that drive me especially crazy. So I'm not like all in on the Jalen Milroe's the future. That's not quite it. But I am all in on the upside. I am all in on the curiosity. I am all in on just being excited to see what he looks like. And he's probably the number one player. If I get to minicamp, if I get to a first training camp practice, first person I want eyes on, yeah, it's Jalen Milroe. Even more so than Sam Darnold. And I realized that, and I actually kind of wrote a little bit about this last night for today. I haven't thought much about Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just haven't. Have you? Have you been thinking a lot about Sam Darnold? I've been so focused, first of all, on the offensive line, which obviously Brock and I debated and talked about, and I ranted about for weeks, if not months. So pretty focused on the needs on the offensive line. I've been pretty focused on getting better defensively, right? Trying to become an elite level defense. And then, you get caught up in the excitement of the draft picks, of course, because they're new and they're here and they're shiny and they have the future ahead of them, and especially Milroe because of the upside. So, yeah, I've been focused on all of that. But the biggest key to this season, isn't it Sam Darnold? It's not Jalen Milroe. It's not, Nick Eamon-Wari, as cool as those guys are. And it's, unbelievable upside that they both have. Zabel will obviously play a big role, but, nothing is going to be more important than Darnold. He's the most important part of this whole thing. And I don't know what we're going to get. Do you? I don't know what Sam Darnold is going to be. I really don't. I know he's got a track record that suggests a bunch of different types of outcomes. You guys have been talking about Sam Darnold, maybe not quite as long as Jordan Palmer has, since he's known him forever. But, I've been watching him at times since he was in college, and I was never particularly impressed. I was always down on him as a college player. I was always down on him as a young player with the Jets. But I'm also pretty open to him having figured it out, especially after we watched Geno do that and have some success here over a few different seasons, especially given the number of guests we've had who've said that his time in Carolina, his time in San Francisco really precipitated what eventually occurred in Minnesota last year. Jordan said that just earlier this week.
What we do together is, in a nutshell, is eliminate unnecessary movement and remove momentum from their game. I believe this whole game is about movement. And if you miss and you're talented, you probably put yourself in a position to miss. So it's the movement that precedes the throw that typically causes the mechanical issue. And so with Sam, all of that clicked going into San Fran because it was a mess. He had 5 coordinators in 5 years before that. And then he backed up Brock. But he also got a chance, to be honest, a team that went to the Super Bowl and be a part of that every single day and go against those guys every single day and see the way that was the first time he'd won. They didn't really win in San Clemente High School. They didn't really win at SC outside of him being a playmaker and rattling off 9 straight wins in a Rose Bowl year. And they never won in New York or in Carolina. So we've never really been around a winning culture. Then goes to Minnesota last year, and it's similar footwork. It's coached similarly, high-level football conversations happening, and a winning culture, and he brought his own element to that.
Yeah, so I'm curious. Is this a winning culture? It's certainly, there have been a lot of winning done here in Seattle. It hasn't been playoff winning in a while, but it's certainly been, positive winning. Maybe not that different from what he was in at USC. Yeah, I'm pretty open-minded, honestly, just with Sam Darnold. I really don't know what to expect. I want to see him in person. I'm curious to see him in this system. It's hard for me to shake some of the, what do we call it, blink scouting of him in college, where the fumbles were often a problem, and I just was never really all that impressed. But he didn't have a tremendous amount around him. So, and the issues with the Jets, I get it. There's a pretty good case to be made that there's a reason this guy was a top 5 pick. And he's just now finally starting to realize all of that potential in the NFL. And if that's the case and the Seahawks have their next franchise quarterback, it's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be cool. You got him for 2 years at not that much money, and then you can figure out what you want to do from there. And if he's not that guy, yeah, I'm probably going to be full bore on the Jalen Milroe. I'll just warn you guys now, I'll probably be insufferable. Not because I think he's going to be better, but because I want to find out. Right? If Darnold doesn't have it, the first thing I want to do is find out whether or not you can get Jalen Milroe on a rookie deal for as long as possible as your starter. How could you not? That's like the biggest advantage in all of the NFL. And so you'd want to find out, if Darnold isn't incredible, you'd want to find out this year so that you could decide what you want to do with Darnold in the offseason and whether you're willing to commit to Jalen Milroe or draft somebody else. But obviously that goal of having somebody who is on the rookie deal at quarterback, it's a game changer in the NFL. All right, coming up, for all of the talk we've had about the Mariner offense, what's going on with their pitching? We'll talk. Brock's in. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Bump and Stacy.
Nick Imanwari's college coach. Head coach of South Carolina, Shane Beamer, joining us.
Hey, Coach, how do you think his game translates to the NFL?
He's got such a skill set because of his size and athleticism. He really can do so much from a coverage standpoint, from knowing what Seattle does defensively. And I think they like guys that are multifaceted and can do a lot.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Mark is sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Well, you're going to already start making fun of me for yesterday?
No,
you already are, aren't you? You're already going to make fun of me.
Why would I do that?
I get the sense you're about to. I know how you operate, and I know how you are, and I probably shouldn't have even told you what I did yesterday because I knew it was going to come back and bite me. So before I give you a chance to tell the story, I feel like I should own my own
problems.
problems.
Let me praise you. Before you do, let me praise you about something. Okay?
Thank you.
Again, always. You praise publicly, you criticize privately. So let me praise you on something. You are 100% right on this. I don't even think there's a sports argument about it. And I think Maura is right along on your coattails on this as well. When you have talked for years now about the Kraken and the lack of star power, and when you watch these playoffs and you watch how, and I don't know what it is about it, maybe you do, if it's the speed, if it's the intensity, if it is the light at the end of the tunnel, if it's the beards, whatever it is. But man, when you get to playoff hockey, your stars, McKinnon and Rantanen and McDavid, and these guys just rise.
They do.
And my goodness gracious, you need stars.
That play McDavid made to win the game in overtime last night was just awesome. It's like he's got a turbo button. He's just like, oh, by the way, I'm just going to be faster than everybody else on the ice. Unbelievable.
Like, you and I don't watch a lot of soccer, but like when you see Lionel Messi and when you see the stars, like when you see that 1%ers, right, that just are different than everybody else, my gosh, the puck, the skate, the ferocity, it's just that take of yours of these Kraken or that opinion.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well done.
All right.
Really well done.
So now you want to make fun of me for what I did yesterday?
No, I just got to tell every once in a while you'll hear from people, right? You've heard a couple stories about my arm wrestling. You had some ridiculous, stupid lie of a story that you told them, a few months back that was not accurate.
Oh, about the course you were in?
Yeah, that was not true at all.
That guy, by the way, still swears that he's accurate about that.
That guy's really wrong about this. Well, I got I got a text yesterday from someone's son that you golfed with.
Not for very long. What'd they say?
You just packed up and left.
Yeah.
You just said, I'm out.
Yep.
He gone.
Yep. That's exactly what I did. Yeah. I went down yesterday to play golf. And I don't know whether it was like becoming a 5 or 6 day hangover or what, but I went out there on the golf course and I was so bad. I was so awful. I was playing so poorly that after 9, we got to the 10th hole and there was a very small backup there. And I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I got my car and drove home. I didn't even want to be there. It's like, this is stupid. I suck today. I'm awful. I can't hit the ball in the air. I can't hit it straight. I can't do anything. I've duffed like 12 times off the tee in 9 holes. Why am I even here? Go home. When you find yourself yelling at yourself on the golf course, Wassel style, at some point you just say, this is stupid. Let's go. When you are in your own head to the point where you are yelling, you stink. Why are you even out here? Go away. This sport is too hard for you. You should just go home. That's what I did. I got in my car and I drove home and I felt much better. And you know what I did when I got there?
Yeah.
I picked up the kids. I drove around for a little bit, and I took a 2.5-hour passed out nap on my couch. And you know what? When I woke up, I felt about 1,000,000 times better. I am so glad I didn't bother to play the back 9 and that I just went home.
Yep.
I don't feel guilt about this at all.
No,
I feel great about it.
No, he didn't make it. He did not want you to feel bad about it. You just thought it was terrific. The Salk's just done.
I'm done. I'm done. There's no point. It's not like first of all, I wasn't playing with friends. I was by myself and then got paired up with two very nice gentlemen, a retired judge and a retired doctor. They were both very, very nice. But they didn't care whether I was there or not.
No.
Right? What do they care? They're not my friends. I mean, it was nice talking to them, but we're not friends. They don't care if I leave. And if anything, it'll just make their game go faster. And plus, they wouldn't have to watch me hit ground balls around a golf course. It was terrible. Who wants to see somebody hit ground balls like it's like it's freaking infield practice?
When did you know? Was it on the range, or did you hit on the range?
No time for the range.
No time for the range.
No.
So
none of that.
When did you know it was just going to be one of these?
3, maybe 4, somewhere in that range. I mean, it got real bad on 5.
Yep.
It just at some point just like, this is dumb.
Yep.
I got 120 yards in, and I just scull it directly into the water. I got 12 feet off the green, and you just lift one 75 yards past it. And you're like, oh, I wasn't close. So sometimes you just have to leave. There was no upside, and I was exhausted, and my neck hurt. I just started complaining to myself. And once you're in that spot, there's no reason to stay.
You feel better now too, even just getting all that out, right?
A little bit. Thank you.
Yeah,
this is good. I've always said this show. I don't need a therapist. I have this show.
That's right.
for my therapy. The thing is, I've been playing really good golf until yesterday, which is why I just said this is dumb. Just leave.
That's right.
Clearly, there's something not right. Clearly, you're not in the right headspace or body space.
Still dehydrated.
I've been playing well, so just leave.
Yep.
Just get out. Just get out now while you can.
But
I may know what the problem is. Can I confess something to you? All three of you. I did something yesterday that I shouldn't have done. I know this, and that I haven't done in, I think, 25 years. But I did it yesterday before my round of golf.
866-979-3776. 866-979-3776. Oh, if you can answer that question, I'll buy you a coffee.
No, there's no way anyone could answer it. What did I do yesterday before this round of golf that I shouldn't have done, and that I haven't done in 25 years, and I felt weak for doing it because I lost all of my edge, all of my willpower, and I think it might have affected me throughout the entire rest of the day, maybe even still today. No, I didn't. It wasn't shaving my back. I've done that many, many, many times, although usually I ask Heather for help.
Was this something you put in your body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a pre-golf nap. That would have helped. No. It wasn't any of those things. Got off the road, heading down to the home course.
Yep.
And I don't know. I went into Jack in the Box, which I haven't done in a really, really long time. Because I needed a sourdough Jack.
What is that reaction? Crazy.
I haven't been to one in 25 years, but
He's still saturated from the weekend.
Yeah,
that is why.
That's why. Yes. And so I went to Jack in the Box, and I know that Jack in the Box, because obviously if you watch a Mariner game or almost any amount of local television, that you are bombarded with Jack in the Box commercials. And Jack in the Box has introduced more new products than I think, between Taco Bell and Jack in the Box, who seem to be like having an all-time war with each other.
Yeah.
Right? They're both Jack in the Box. Oh, we got tacos. And then Taco Bell's like, oh, we got chicken and burgers. What do you think of that? Oh, we do this. Oh, we have it for $1. We have it for 99 cents. Like, they are going at the stoner market hard, right? Those two institutions.
Yes.
And so, but there's only two things I've ever gotten at Jack in the Box. The spicy Jack chicken, and most importantly, because I think it's delicious, the sourdough Jack, which I actually think is one of the great fast food sandwiches.
Sure.
So, and I hadn't had one for 2.5 decades, Brock. It's been since college.
Part of that reaction too, Maura, was when Benetti was with me. We went to pick up Titus from baseball practice, and this facility has a Jack in the Box right at the corner, and we drive by.
Yeah.
And I think Benetti said, "Oh, a Jack in the Death,"
right?
Or something like
Jack
that.
in the Crack is often what I've heard. But yes, regardless. So I went in. and had a sourdough jacket, which I scarfed down in my car like a complete pig. And it was freaking.
Could that have impacted your game?
Yes, of course it could have. It might be impacting me right now. Let me tell you, though. It was delicious.
So
it was everything I remembered and more. Yes. Like the bun is a little crispy because of the sourdough. It's almost like a patty melt that they've turned into a fast food burger. It is so freaking good.
The grease goes down.
Oh my God, the grease was tremendous, and I think I felt it on every hole. So. Anyway,
in the boxes where I grew up, and then didn't they kind of have like a bad?
Oh yeah, they had the whole E. coli thing. Yeah, that wasn't great.
Once I finally moved here and saw one, I just wasn't really that. No. It wasn't appealing.
Yeah, that happened while I was in college, while we were eating a lot of Jack in the Box and going there late at night. So, anyway, well, we didn't get to the Mariners. We will, I promise. We have all of 7:30 reserved for that. I'm sorry, Brock. You distracted me with my awful day yesterday, but I felt bad. 509 says the sourdough Jack is so good. Yeah, I know. It really is.
So good.
It really is. The sourdough, Isaac and Everett, the sourdough Jack slaps. Another W Salk take.
You know what's going to happen today? Jack in the Box in the area in Puget Sound and all over the world that listens to our show is going to be busy because that's an earworm. Once Jack in the Box gets in your head,
the amount of text coming in right now supporting the sourdough Jack.
It is totally underrated. It's like, I mean, when I got to California for the first time in the 90s and discovered that there was more than just McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, when I discovered In-N-Out and Jack in the Box and Taco Bell, like we didn't have any of that stuff in Boston. And then Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. is disgusting. That burger, I wouldn't eat that burger if death was the other option.
Can we give people everything they need to know?
Brock, the sourdough Jack
slaps.
It slaps? There's no other way to say it.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Nick Ebenwari is with us. Nick, how are you, man?
Super blessed, super grateful, but I feel like I should have gone a little sooner, but I landed in the right spot ultimately. Had a great connection with them, so I'm glad I ended up going to the Seahawks. But in my notes, in my phone, like I kind of had like the NFL, it's personal list, so like that's a funny thing I for myself.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Goodbye, winter mud. Hello, Dream Yard. Spring is here. Synthetic Turf Northwest has you covered. No more soggy lawns or weekend yard work. Just green, clean, and ready for backyard barbecues, wiffle ball, or kicking back. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the area leader in synthetic grass, residential and commercial installs, plus turf supplies out of our Woodinville warehouse, and soon in Fife, right off I-5. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com today.
Do you have a car sitting around collecting dust? Well, turn that car into cash at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your vehicle today, pay you right up front, but it gets way better. Once they resell your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. I'm here with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford in Auburn. So, Mark, it's been a few years since you started offering this. How's it going? And how much money have you given back to your customers that sold their cars to Wayscar Ford under this program?
It's going great, Stacy. As a matter of fact, we've given back over $750,000 to the customers that have sold their cars to us on our vehicle profit sharing program.
Wow, that's fantastic. Why do you think it's working so well?
Let's face it, it's Thunderdome out there with all the auto theft, the identity theft, and the other scams going on today. Less and less people are comfortable trying to sell their car themselves. So we offer them a way to get a lot more money for their car without having to go through all the hassle of trying to sell it themselves.
And it's only at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. WayscarFord.com.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
Up play. Aaron Williamson reels it in.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch and a 2-2 on the way to Young. It is strike 3 called and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Be here for this week's Mariners homestand. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the Blue Jays tonight through Sunday. Then Aaron Judge and the Yankees are in town for a 3-game set Monday through Wednesday. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets for these back-to-back AL East showdowns at T-Mobile Park.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature-rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
G. Scott here with former Seahawk Doug Baldwin. Tell us about Nourishing Champions.
We know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. So Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
High schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn more at championsofchangefoundation.org/Nourishing Champions.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $2,500 off an energy-efficient Bryan cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brock, it's always nice to have a day off while your opponent does not, and the Blue Jays did not. In fact, they had to play a late game last night, and so they got in late last night from Anaheim. They did win, so I guess that helps, but still, they're already scuffling. I can't imagine that's going to help them much. These two teams, not exactly where anybody would have predicted. The Mariners 7th in runs scored. The Jays are 26th. Yeah, how significant is the problem? Adnan Verk yesterday with Bump and Stacy.
Well, the Jays right now, their lack of power is just horrendous. I mean, they've been out homered 51-25. Vladimir Guerrero was given this $500 million contract, and he is on pace for 19 home runs. This is after averaging 34 home runs over his last 4 seasons. So he has not been the same power hitter. Bo Bichette's been even worse. He has 1 home run so far this year, and he's been healthy. He's played. He just hasn't been effective. I mentioned Santander's yet to get going. Springer's been better, but still only 4 home runs. So their offense is really lackluster. They're scoring the 3rd fewest runs in baseball.
Yeah, I would call that pretty lackluster, right? They did hit a home run last night, so it's now 51-26 between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. But wow, they're dead last in the league in hitting home runs. And by the way, in pitching, Brock, it's not that much better. The Mariners are 11th in ERA. Toronto is 24th. So added up, you got 1 good team and 1 bad team. And if I'm the Blue Jays, fans, ownership, I think I'm probably going to expect a little bit more from the fifth highest payroll in baseball, $246 million.
Yeah.
That feels like a managerial change about to occur.
Yeah, you've kind of felt that way for a lot of years about John Schneider out that way in Toronto.
Well, first I felt that way about the guy before him. I'm blanking on his name, who I thought was awful, but I don't think Schneider's much better.
Yeah, and I did some digging last night. I think probably like a lot of Mariners fans, he kind of started to maybe look around with no Mariners game on, either watch a little hockey or watch either little baseball or just kind of dig into some numbers. And you know what kind of jumps out to me in the American League, Salk, is most of these teams that are really scuffling, like the Orioles or the Blue Jays, half their lineup is hitting and half of it is just falling off a cliff. And part of the reason I think these Mariners are 22-14 is that lengthened lineup. You know, there's not like a massive ozone hole in it where you're just doomed. And the bottom of that Blue Jays order has been bad.
But the top of the Blue Jays order has been bad.
I mean, Bichette's been better than he was a year ago. Vlad's not hitting home runs, but he's still getting on base and doing stuff. Santander has had a slow start.
You got to hit home runs, man. If you want to win, I mean, you got to hit some home runs. You can't have 26 home runs in like 36 games. I mean, like that's just not
well, let's keep it that way.
A sustainable model for them. Luis Castillo, Kevin Gossman, kind of shades of 2022 in the opener tonight.
Here's the second thing you need
ready,
to
Brock?
know.
You ready for Jadeveon Clowney conversation, part 3, 4, whatever it is? Guy's always available. Every couple of years, Jadeveon Clowney's available. Back on the market again. He was released in Carolina yesterday. 32 years old, 5.5 sacks in 14 games last year, so he's not done. History here in Seattle, history in Baltimore with Mike McDonald. I'm going to say no. To me, this one's a no.
Yeah.
They're set on the edge. They just don't need to spend anything really on an edge player who's not better, who's not a significant upgrade on what they have.
No, and even when he was here, and he did some awesome stuff, and he is obviously just a freakish talent. Even when he was here then, Salk, there was a real concern about that body being able to hang through a season. There was very limited practice, about so many veteran days, because his body just couldn't do it. And I think with DeMarcus Lawrence, that's your guy this year. Like that's the guy that you're going to baby over the course of the season. You don't need too many guys that you need to baby in that kind of way. I don't think that's healthy from just a competitive practice dynamic either. So for that, I say no, thank you.
Yeah, I would as well. Also, just if you need to spend money, center, linebacker, corner. I mean, like you just have spots that, unfortunately, are just a little bit more important, I think, to your team and the way it's being built right now.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Sue Bird, Brock, is going to be the managing director of U.S. women's basketball. New position. So instead of a committee picking the teams and coaches, it will be Sue Bird. It's what Grant Hill does, I guess, with the U.S. men's team. Hopefully she'll put Caitlin Clark on the team.
Well, she'll add a massive amount of credibility for just a fractured. The whole women's basketball has just been fractured. Last year the WNBA was fractured. That whole deal was fractured. It was amazing when Caitlin and the others beat Team USA. It was just not a great look. And she certainly adds decades and decades and decades of credibility. And I don't know, Sue has always carried herself, even with her stardom, with the level of grace, right?
Yeah,
the level of
right.
humility.
Yeah.
Just some of that UConn way that is about the team and about others, and such a facilitator, point guard, and hopefully this helps clean up some of the antagonism that was found in that sport.
Kind of like this other story as well. I know it's speaking nicely of an enemy, but Kevin Demoff here, Rams team president, talking about what they're doing. I love this idea.
This is cool.
Mini camp in Maui. Cool for the players, cool for the fans, and cool for the community that they're going to be in. Really, I think, doing a nice deed for a place that could use it.
For us as an organization that likes to push the envelope, but first, the idea of taking our entire organization to Maui to celebrate the end of the offseason, our players, our coaches, their hard work, to bring them together, to give our fans a chance to really travel with the Rams, to come be part of this week, to celebrate with our team, to be around it. It's so different than the regular season when we travel. It's focused on playing a game and getting a win. This is really going to be a celebration of all things Rams, a partnership with the state of Hawaii, with Hawaii Tourism Authority, and really bringing joy to the community of Maui.
All right, I don't know about a celebration of all things Rams. That feels like a pretty short celebration. But other than that, I really do applaud this. I think it's a cool deal.
Pretty good idea. And then we kind of see that in Peoria. The pacing of it allows you proximity that you don't get during the season. So if they go to Maui, let's go up to the Bering Sea. Let's go up to Fairbanks, Ketchikan, Sitka, let's go do a tour, an Alaskan tour.
Quite Maui.
Because they'll be soft.
Not quite
They
Maui.
go to Maui and get soft.
Not quite
We'll
Maui.
go up to Alaska.
All right, that's everything you need to know. My God, there's a lot of text here. The sourdough jack is the red flag you ignore. Yes. It starts with that irresistible, warm, crispy sourdough embrace, pure bliss, but then the regret creeps in. Heavy, overwhelming, a reminder that fleeting pleasure always comes at a cost. Much like a toxic relationship, it lures you in with promises of satisfaction, only to leave you questioning all of your life choices. And yet, somehow, you always go back.
What do you think you are, Anthony Bourdain?
Apparently. I agree. The sourdough jack, and then for dessert, drag through some Cheetos through Rocky Road ice cream. It's heaven. Salk, now I'm going to have to try one of these. Yeah, there's a lot. We've got a lot of these. A lot of Jack in the Box tags. Sourdough Jack was the first sandwich I had from Jack in the Box, but I stopped eating it when I became an adult. Grow up, Salk. All right, I'm not. You know what? What's the matter with you guys? Then they're calling me a stoner. That's not me at all. If you know me even a little bit, I am not in that. I am not in that category. Sorry, that's you got the wrong guy on that one. Brock, I got bad news. I have some bad news. Do you want the bad news now?
Well, this is back-to-back guests for you.
This is 2 in a row.
Guest booking is just not your thing. Can we just all stay in our lane on this show?
No.
Can the sound hound do her thing? Can I book guests? And can you just be a brilliant Jack-in-the-Box slob?
No Kevin Seitzer today. He's sick. He's sick. I mean, this is not my fault. The man is sick. He can't talk. He sent a very nice note, but he is unfortunately sick. So we got to figure out what we're going to do at 8:30. I'll tell you what.
Goldie, backup plan? Goldie?
I don't know. We have to work on something. Let us compose ourselves. We'll be right back on Brock and Salk.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do. Incredible comeback again from this group.
At bat by at bat, they find a way.
Tonight, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
All right, hopefully you guys are ready for this summer where luxury will await at Snoqualmie Casino and the new hotel. Yes, that's where comfort meets elegance, and the views are still going to be great. The dining is going to be even better. The entertainment, oh yeah, that's going to be on point. Summer Concert Series is back with Hanson and Austin Jenks and Melanie Fiona and POD all this summer overlooking the Snoqualmie Valley. Get tickets at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest, it's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law, where we help all types of injury victims like Cynthia, who was T-boned by a truck.
The airbag shattered bones in my hand. I called Warrior Injury Law and was very happy with the outcome. Rob has integrity. He cares about people. He cares about his clients. I knew that I could trust Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we've moved some things around, Brock. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. There's no problems here. There's nothing to see here. Unfortunately, Kevin Seitzer was under the weather, so these things happen. We had an issue with Dan Wetzel yesterday in his phone. Today, it's Kevin Seitzer who is sick. We'll see what happens next week.
Just let me do the booking, okay? Just let me try to do the booking. It looks like we're going to have the president and CEO of Jack in the Box.
Oh, nice. Yes. Yeah. So maybe Jack himself will be here, which would be pretty exciting. Think he could fit that big round head through the door?
Is that the guy on the commercials?
Yeah.
Is that the CEO?
You mean Jack? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Love Jack. That guy's a legend. Yes. That guy's been doing commercials for 50 years. I mean, it's pretty impressive what he's done. Brock, who's the team to beat in the AL West? Right now, today.
Team to beat in the AL West right now, today, is the Seattle Mariners.
Okay,
they're the most complete team. Offensively, defensively, pitching, and they're doing it without a lot of their horses.
All right, well, you would have to tell that to the crew at MLB Network because they don't agree.
I'm going to go with the Rangers. I know where they're sitting in the division right now, but I trust Evaldi, Malley, DeGrom as my 1, 2, and 3, one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. And it would be hard for me to sit here in August or September and say I'm so surprised that Corey Seager and Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia and Wyatt Langford and Josh Young, hey, those guys got it going. Surprise, surprise. So I still think the Rangers are the team to beat.
It should be the Rangers.
But
by the way, the A's have won 10 of 15.
You know how I feel about the Athletics. They're 2 pitchers away from Mark Kotsay being a massive factor. But I'm going to stay safe. Houston.
Okay.
I picked him at the beginning of the year. Wow. You got to prove to me you can beat him. Hunter Brown's as good as anybody. Still love Altuve. Jordan hasn't swung the bat at all.
They better get Jordan back quickly.
They got to get him right. You know he's going to go on a binge at some point.
All right, so it's kind of an interesting answer you get there. Was that Al Leiter who went first?
Chris Young.
Chris Young, I'm sorry. So that was Chris Young, followed by Mark DeRosa. And we'll have some fun with DeRosa later because he actually does seem to really like this Mariner team, and there's some good stuff in there. What I hear, Brock, when I hear those two answers.
I hear 2 words. I wonder if you hear the same. I hear 2 words so clearly in that entire analysis.
Okay.
But I'm curious if you hear the same. Go ahead.
Well, for me, it's all about they're not looking at what they've done. They're looking at what they're going to do. They're not. That's not having watched the games and come to a conclusion.
That's funny.
That's saying, look, the names on the teams are because they are where they are and those guys haven't done it yet, they're going to progress to their norms. And when Adolis Garcia and Seager, all those guys, all the names that you heard, Altuve, Jordan, etc., they'll be fine.
Yeah. So you're saying not what they've done in 2025.
That's right. Yeah.
But what they still project them because of the 2 words, which is track record.
Yeah.
That's just a track record. That's just Seager, that's Simeon, that's all the names they rattled off, Alvarez, Altuve, on all these different teams.
And I'm sure if you were to go longer, you'd say, well, the track record, unfortunately, of a lot of the Mariners that are hitting right now is that they will come back to earth.
That's right.
Right? And so this thing will they make good points. I mean, those are very good,
Houston
solid
was
arguments.
Terrible last year. Remember, the Mariners were up 10 games in this division in mid-June, end of June last year. And they started abysmally slow, and then just kind of heated up. But that team still had a few more pieces than this Houston Astros team has.
Yes.
Right? And in particular, Lyle Goldstein's guy. Is Lyle here, by the way? I've not heard a peep from Lyle.
Barely. I just saw you on.
Lyle, you all right?
Yes.
I know it's been a heavy week for you, so we're right at the end of it. I just wonder if you're going to tap out like Salk did after 9. Just be like, I'm out.
At the 8 o'clock, right at the beginning of the 8 o'clock hour, halfway through the show, Lyle's just going to pack up and go home.
Yeah, that's a track record of what those guys have all done in the past, and you can understand that from afar. If you're doing a national show, you totally get that. I think is if you watch these games this year and you look at the complete nature of this Mariner team situationally, right, doing this even without their best pitcher. But let's face it, they've got the best closer in all of baseball. They got the best catcher in all of baseball. They got a superstar in center field that is warming up a little bit. JP is playing as one of the best shortstops in all of baseball. And you are down, 40% of your starting rotation and still winning 9 series in a row. But for those guys, nationally, they don't really care. They know it's a marathon, and they're going to look at the track record of the past and the names of the past rather than what this group is doing right now.
Yeah, I would say just after watching those other teams, I got to tell you, the 2 best teams I've seen in this division are the Mariners and A's.
Yeah.
And it's not particularly close. I was very impressed with the A's.
Yeah, if the A's got Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, like if they were adding those 2 guys to that team this year,
or one of those guys and Matt Brash, right? Like they need a little bullpen help. They probably need one more starting pitcher. It doesn't even need. I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be top of the line, but they need a good, solid starter and a really good reliever to go with Mason Miller. And you'd be like, man, that team's good. Offense is legit. Like, they know what they're doing. They're well managed. Interestingly, they've got a negative 24 run differential. So, maybe my eyes deceive me, and maybe they just play the Mariners well, and in all the other games they've played, they haven't been all that good. I don't know. But just on what my eyes have seen in, 7 games against the A's, 6 against the Rangers, 3 against Houston, a couple against the Angels. The Angels stink on ice, and their record shows it, and their run differential shows it, and our eyes know it, and our track record, like you name it, it's not hard to tell that the Angels stink. I tell you, man, I was really unimpressed with the Astros. They felt just kind of weak.
Tired.
Yeah, but I should note.
Altuve playing left field.
I should note they are the only other team in the division with a positive run differential.
Yep.
They are plus 16. They've
Because Hunter
played.
Brown is pretty nasty, and Fromberg can be pretty nasty, and they still have some guys there that can be pretty
And
nasty.
we saw them here, right, in Seattle. They are 7-11 on the road, 11-7 at home. So maybe it's a different ball game when you get down there with the stupid Crawford boxes and all that. Although I will say this Mariner team doesn't seem like it's going to have nearly the same Crawford box problem as others have. It feels like they're ready to take advantage of that and start slugging some home runs out there. But the Rangers are 18-20. They're 5 games out already, and they got a negative 20 run differential. I'm sorry, man. I watched that team play. Yes, they're better at home. They're 12-8 there versus 6-12 on the road. They just don't seem good.
Well, we did not. I don't think we.
They seem bloated.
I don't even know if we
like
touched on
me
this
after eating a sourdough jack.
I don't know if we touched on this and even a need to know. You saw what they did, right? They looked at these Mariners and said, "Huh, interesting. That 2001 team. Why don't we bring somebody from that 2001 team and Brett Boone as their now new hitting coach as they fired their guy?" So I took a little look at that. We know Danny, right, is the manager here. We know Edgar is the offense coordinator, hitting guru here.
Mm-hmm.
We now know Brett Boone's the hitting coach down there. Isn't little Joey Cora coaching somewhere?
He is, but he wasn't on the 01 team, unfortunately.
Oh, he wasn't on the 01
no,
team.
you may have heard little Joey was on the 95
We know
team.
that Mike Cameron is a roving instructor. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing how many guys from that group from that era are now in fairly prominent roles.
Well, I did throw that in there sort of tangentially to the piece that I had up yesterday. And I do think it's part of it. Like Brett Boone, they just want to keep it simple.
Yep.
Just as simple. And look, we're not going to get to talk to Kevin Seitzer today, but I think if we did, what we would hear is as simple an idea as be aggressive early, battle late.
Yep.
And I think that, that's probably what Texas will do to just try to simplify everything for the guys that they have there. I do think there's still a conversation about what's going on with the Mariner pitching. It's funny. It has not been what we'd expect. They are still 11th in ERA, which is great. I mean, that's a perfectly good spot to be. I think they're capable of being better once they get their guys back.
That's bullpen and starters?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Okay.
But oddly, they are outside the top 20. Lyle, you might find this interesting. Outside the top 20 in both strikeouts and whip, despite having that great ERA.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why have they been able to do that? As far as I can tell the answer, they've only allowed 32 home runs. That's 5th lowest in the league. So they're keeping the ball in the ballpark, which has been enormously important.
Which kind of passed and referenced with us on Tuesday. Yep.
But they're giving up a lot of walks and hits, and they're not striking out a lot of guys outside the top 20 in strikeouts. It's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of all that, and where do you think that goes from here? Or is it all kind of balanced off with Kirby, Gilbert, and Brash all either returning or about to return?
It's probably the latter. I mean, the bullpen has not struck guys out this year. We've talked about that, so that plays a factor. But look, Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans have more than done their job since they've been up here. It's just that those guys, at least so far, are more of pitch to contact guys, so that's going to take away some strikeouts rather than having Logan and Kirby in there.
Yep, and the Pebble made a couple starts in there as well. I mean, we're still at a sample size here, right? 35 games into the season, where Luis F. Castillo got picked up, by the way.
He did, by the desperate Orioles.
There we go. The Pebble got picked up.
Is there a Kobe W. Mayo the Orioles can send back to the
I don't think so. I
Mariners?
think that was more of a cash considerations deal. But yeah.
Well, if they're basing it on the national guys, are kind of basing this on the familiarity of names and the familiarity of past track records, I would have to think is these Mariners, and if they can just continue through this month of May, heck, even just play 500, Salk, through this month of May, and you do get a George Kirby and a Logan Gilbert in their past and their track records back, added in, with now what you have a little bit more in an Emerson Hancock, now with a Logan Evans getting a little more opportunity, experience under his belt, knowing that, Matt Brash will hopefully just continue to gain and kind of strength and durability. Like those are pretty darn good track records right there of those guys at the top of your rotation and in your bullpen that should further help.
408 suggesting that Texas's hitting performance will be enhanced by hiring Brett Boone. I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know why they're. I don't know why they're going to put those quote marks.
You know what the Booner used to do? Salky back. You know what? I should probably call that Booney. You know what Booney did, Salk? He was the epitome of swing out of his shoes.
Yes,
and then he would choke up.
Yeah,
not quite like a Victor Robles or Rivas, but he would choke up with 2 strikes and just battle and put the ball in play. in the back pocket. He could never keep his back pocket in his pants.
Yeah. Happens to the best of us.
Sure
One
does.
more text, 417. You guys fall for these Mariner hot streaks every damn year. I cannot wait to hear you backtrack yet again in 2 months. Hey, it's certainly possible. I don't think their offense is as good as it is and looks right now.
That's what the judge and doctor kind of thought yesterday.
Yeah.
Huh? Is that
the two older guys?
Did that come from them?
Yeah, they were just straight up like, no, I don't buy this. They're going to rip our hearts out. But they are back at T-Mobile, Brock, tonight. 6-game homestand against the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Lots of giveaways, so every night's a can't-miss event. Sunday, of course, is Mother's Day. You can get one of the clear structured purse giveaways. First 10,000 moms will take home a Mariner-themed clear structured purse, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Plus, kids run the bases after that game. And you know what Saturday is? You know what tomorrow is, right? Do you know what they're doing tomorrow?
No.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know what they're doing tomorrow? With James Paxton throwing out the first pitch?
I don't know.
Brock, tomorrow's Maple Grove night.
Oh!
Stick Riz and the crew are all going to be
there. Are they giving
there.
away maple syrup?
You can score a Maple Grove t-shirt with an exclusive online offer at mariners.com/tickets. I appreciate that somebody wants me to read the Maple Grove thing. I just think it's great. And given how much I loved it while it was here.
Hey, Paxton, please, don't throw from the top of the mound. We need to protect you.
I know that poor guy.
No, we don't need you, tearing your Achilles, throwing out the first pitch Saturday.
You think he's still throwing 95 from the left side?
Probably.
I think he probably is, too. All right, let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Stick Riz.
They got so mad at us for making fun of that.
They did not. People were very upset.
And I'm not talking the Mariners. I'm talking...
Well, them too.
The Maple Grove.
I think everybody was pretty upset. It was just so contrived.
Lyle, did you ever get into the Maple Grove? Was that a thing for you?
I did not.
You ever eat a turkey leg in King's Court?
I didn't do that either.
You ever sit in King's Court?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But just not, you weren't the turkey leg guy.
No.
No, you're not eating just something somebody else has already put in their mouth.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yes, all right, I get it. Brock, who are you apologizing to? I was out here yesterday, not quite offering apologies, but retracting.
Yeah.
Who were you going to do that to?
Yeah, I think I need to apologize to one Acosta High School, Colin Cowherd. Because when Colin said to us, he kind of slipped it in there that, hey, John Schneider, since he's been taking over these drafts, been a little bit better. He kind of flirted with Detroit. I was like, Detroit? He kind of flirted with Green Bay. And then I actually kind of got slapped on the hand a little bit yesterday. You were included in the text, so you saw that as well.
I did.
From an informant in the NFL that was like, well, hold on a second. Actually, Detroit did come calling, and they did show some interest. And that was advantageous for Mr. Schneider to continue to get an extension. And Green Bay has flirted, I think, a few times with the guy that started his career there, that still has a lot of family and friends back in Wisconsin. So, Green Bay is, sniffed around. Detroit did sniff around. And I do think John Schneider commands, Salk, a lot of respect around this league.
Clearly.
I think a lot of owners, I think a lot of presidents know, just the totality of his work, both in Green Bay, working his way up in Washington, and then out here in Seattle. He's been elevated and stuck around in a position for a long, long time. And yeah, there's been swing and misses, as there is with every general manager, but his ability to work with just about anybody, to work alongside Pete, to now work alongside a young head coach, to kind of have, as that I often use, that connective tissue, I think the league recognizes that.
All right, question number 2.
So I apologize, Colin.
Well, I'm sure that apology will be well received.
Yeah, you were right. I was wrong. I may have to apologize to Schlereth, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to start taking more shots here.
Don't
the great Mark Schlereth,
right?
who actually played guard in the NFL, had a take on guards, and it sounds like Brock's going to disagree. Here's what Schlereth said.
If you've got a couple of guys that you're really confident in, a couple of guys that you can leave one-on-one in critical situations, and then you can get help to the other guys, that puts you in a pretty good situation. So, yeah, you've got 3 guys that you feel like you're going to be solid, or way above average, and you've got a couple of guys that are okay or serviceable, you can do things exceptionally well. And then if you've got a coach that really understands what the issues are, what the problems are, you can protect an offensive line by the way you call plays as well. So all those things are important. And I know Clint Kubiak certainly understands that, certainly has been coached that way.
Okay, I feel better about that now. I'm not going to attack the king.
Oh,
on
you're
that
not?
one. No. I thought, just kind of reading the little clip there and looking at some of the words, I thought he said you can get away with having two guys that aren't serviceable or aren't okay, and that's not possible in today's NFL. That was possible when Stink played. That was possible 25, 30 years ago because you did not have the monsters of mayhem up and down a defensive line that you see all over the NFL. NFL defensive lines have become like Major League Baseball bullpens.
They're just ridiculous.
In my era, Salk,
Yeah.
there was a monster per team. Like, oh, don't get him mad. Don't get Chester McLaughlin mad. Don't you dare get that guy mad. Now it's like they got 4 or 5 of those guys, and just about every team does. So, if the cut would have been, hey, you can get away with having a couple slappies or, below average guys. No. Everybody has got to be at least okay or serviceable, to his point right there, if you're going to actually be a top-tier offensive line.
All right, question number 3.
That's all I get from you is a I thought you'd like that comparison between NFL.
No, it's good. I agreed. I totally agreed with
it.
it.
You didn't give me much.
What are you talking about? I agreed with you. My God. Thank you to the 406 for clarifying that enhanced means steroids. Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks. Yes, we got it.
You never tested positive.
No, of course not.
You did not get that much bigger. You just had some jumbo jacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that must have been it. Brock, I asked you the question. I asked Colin. I asked DJ. I asked you about Sam Darnold. Well, really, not even just Sam Darnold. The question was, is the Seahawks next franchise quarterback currently on the roster?
Yep.
You want to change your answer?
No, but I think the reason I paused, the reason DJ paused, and Colin a little bit too, is it's where you feel like Sam is amongst his peers. So hard facts, hard numbers, right? Stats don't lie, your eyes lie. Do you know where Sam Darnold finished last year in QB rating in all the NFL, even with a couple bumps in the road at the end of the regular season? Do you know where he finished in QB rating in all the NFL last year?
6th.
Well done.
Thanks.
Did you look at this or something?
I did not.
Okay, 106 QB rating. How about Lamar at 119? Just silly. Lamar and Josh at the top of that thing. But he was 6th.
Pretty good.
He wasn't 10th. He wasn't 15th. He wasn't 20th.
Okay.
Do you know where he finished now with QBR? And QBR is a little bit more of a stringent, tougher measurement. And not just taking in the touchdowns, interceptions.
6th.
He was actually 14th in QBR.
Okay.
But I believe Gino was 22nd in QBR. QBR, like 50 is league average, kind of like WRC plus 100 is league average. You want to be above 50. If you're 60, in the 60s, you're winning. If you're in the 70s, you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And he was right there around 60, which was kind of middle of the pack with Stafford and some of the others. But I think the reason we pause is there's just not enough extended track record. Because if he had that track record, Salk, for even another year, right? If he had done that in San Francisco,
sure.
If Brock Purdy had gotten hurt and he all of a sudden got in there with all those weapons and he was a top 6 rated quarterback, you'd say, yeah, of course he is. He's only 27. Yes, there's still massive amount of upside and you could win a Super Bowl with him. But having really just one season of that caliber of play leaves, I think, many of us to pause answering that question.
All right, good stuff. That is today's Blue 88. Isaac and Everett wondering if we're going to cover the Pope, how he was chosen a day quicker than Shedeur Sanders. See, that's not nice. That's really unnecessary. That's gratuitous. How dare you? What do you make of a Chicago Pope, though?
Pretty amazing.
Great nickname, Chicago Pope.
First American Pope.
Yeah, and he's a White Sox fan of all things.
Oh, poor guy.
How about that?
They must feel real bad for him.
Well, I think.
Although, Salk, I went yesterday. Okay, so
you were at the lowest of the low.
Do you look? Do you got this? You can pull up the standings. You were looking at the run differential earlier in the American League West, right? Looking at all the different teams there. Look at the run differential through 37 games.
Yeah.
The Colorado Rockies, ladies and gentlemen, are on pace to win 26 games. They are 6-31 through 37 games.
Okay, so the White Sox are bad, right? They have a negative 39 run differential. The Pirates just fired their manager. They're awful. They're at negative 57. The Orioles somehow, this is fairly shocking, are negative 69.
How's
My
that possible?
God. The Angels at negative 61. And yes, Brock, your Colorado Rockies, negative 109 already. Already.
They are on
We're
pace
37
to go
games in.
26 and 136.
That's remarkable.
26 and 136. I will say this, and you know your boy really well. Benetti, good seats, traveling team, good seats there behind the home dugout. There was a fella, he had to be in his late 70s with his daughter, probably mid 50s.
Right.
This guy had a pizza. He first of all pounded a couple beers, which late 70s. I'm like, wow, that's
pretty
impressive. Good. This dude ate a whole pizza. The whole pizza.
Pretty good.
Didn't even share it with his wife.
Yeah.
I had to tap him on the shoulder, total stranger, and say, bro, that was well done.
So, of all of the Pope-related things that I saw yesterday, Chicago Pope is the best nickname by far. And, people wondering about the White Sox and the amount of faith it takes to stay with that organization. The best thing I saw was the introduction of the Chicago Pope to this song.
Oh, yeah. And at Pope. I used to do that with the kids, They used to love that.
Give them intros.
Oh, yeah, we'd play that. And the shooting guard, a
Right.
6-foot sophomore from Redmond, Haley Heward.
Wow. Are you going to be doing that at the wedding in a couple of weeks?
Oh, good idea.
Has there been any talk
I'm going to
about
do it at
that?
graduation tomorrow.
Yeah. But what about
that?
as the bridal party walks down the aisle? Like, could we get some intros?
That will not happen.
Chicago Bull style intros. You don't think Molly'd be into that?
Will not happen.
Why not?
You got your RSVP in, by the way?
Yes, of course I did. Dude, I RSVP'd.
Good.
Are you kidding me?
Right,
I got to make sure I go there and see all the interesting people that were. I just want to know, is it going to be like Howdy's wedding or will there be alcohol?
No.
Okay, that's all I want to know. That's really.
Was there wine at the first wedding? What was
I don't know. There was none. There was none at Howdy's. That's all I know.
Can you handle another weekend like that?
I have until June to prepare myself. Plus, hopefully, the Heward wedding is only going to take one night. All right, coming up, Brock. I've been forgetting about somebody, and we're gonna change that next.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At bat by at bat, they find a way.
Tonight, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Rhine Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're proud this year the Stern Sinus Center was just named a nationwide center of excellence. We're also excited to welcome another allergy surgeon and ear surgeon to our practice. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See you with the full details and disclaimer.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start May 14th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewart is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to see you on the interview.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
The Heward wedding is in western Montana, 425. Polson Golf Course on Flathead Lake. I bet there's a lot of gorgeous courses over in that area. Yeah, no, I will. I'll start looking into that. That sounds pretty cool. I don't know if my family will love that, but still. Brock, we've spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time. And it's my fault. I own it, talking about Jalen Milroe because he's fun and he's exciting. I'm not talking about him right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying we've spent a lot of time talking about him. Probably haven't talked enough about Sam Darnold. He's their quarterback. He's the Seahawks starting quarterback. He's new. We don't really know entirely what he's going to look like. You know, before the draft, it was all offensive line, and how do you make the defense great and elite? And since the draft, it's been the draft picks and also just Milroe in general because of the excitement and upside factor and newness and all that. But I'm still not, like, really sure what we're getting with Sam Darnold.
Agreed. He's not a finished product, right? You want to kind of write that narrative, and I think with a lot of young quarterbacks, narratives are written so much faster today than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, like there's just not time, right? I even remember when I came into the league, Salk, in '99, Gil Haskell, who Steve Hutchinson referenced with us a couple weeks ago, talking about Gil, when Steve said to him after his first minicamp practice, I think I'm going to quit. This guy's going to retire me on the other side. This Tasmanian devil I got to try to block. But I remember Gil pulling me aside in the hallway saying, hey, man, this is a great spot for you. Go into an offensive-minded head coach. You're going to have years and years to learn this system. And even then I was like, I don't know if I got years and years. Now you don't have years and years. Like Shedeur Sanders got his rookie minicamp this week.
Right.
And so does Dylan Gabriel. Like those two guys now going head-to-head. And the narrative is going to be, and the narrative somewhat was written for Shedeur in the draft, and he's got to change it really quickly or else it could be like one and done.
Right.
When you're the fourth quarterback there. So, I think with Sam, like the narrative was written. Yeah, he can't play. He saw ghosts. Yep, New York just ruined him, and he's just done, and he's just always – and then last year he was like, well, hold on a second. I can keep evolving. And you listen to Jordan Palmer, his biggest fan, and he's going to tell you, man, every quarterback evolves. And Sam finally, over the last few years in San Fran and Minnesota, got around the right kind of people.
I realized that when Sam went to San Fran, that was probably the first time that he really was coached. And I know that sounds crazy to fans when they go, what are you talking about? He's in the NFL. That was the first time his footwork lined up with the concept. And Brock, it's crazy how many offensive coordinators are in the league right now who let the quarterback do whatever drop they want, whether they want to do it that way or not. And so with Sam, he goes to San Francisco, and the fan base, fans-wise, it was like, oh, he's the backup. He didn't do it. I think it clicked for Sam going into San Fran.
So if it clicked, that really legitimizes last year, right? It means that he is one of the top 7 to 8, maybe 9, 10 quarterbacks in the league. If it was unique to that, and you also include the full track record, a word you used earlier, not just with the Jets, Brock, but I think at that point you go all the way back to college, where I feel bad because my snap blink scouting on him was negative.
Yeah.
And I watched him a few times actually in college, more so than some of the others. But I probably didn't think as little as him as I did of like Quinn Ewers or someone like that. But I was never too impressed, and the fumbling always got me. It just felt like in big moments, that ball was falling out of his hands. So, that was been my impression of him for a long time. And last year, and maybe a little time in San Francisco, it's got to open up the mind, certainly because of Geno and his late stage evolution, et cetera. Here's the thing, though. So I'm in on Sam. Sam's going to be exciting. I'm excited for it. If it doesn't go well right away, are we going to end up talking quarterback controversy quickly? Not because I think Jalen Milroe would automatically come in and be better or anything like that, but because if you want to find out at some point what you've got with Milroe, because the advantage to having a young quarterback like that is getting as many years as possible while they're on a rookie deal. Don't you kind of have to start figuring that out sooner rather than later, if and only if Darnold doesn't live up to the billing?
Yeah, I think if he really struggles, Salk, and it's sacks and it's turnovers and it's the ball isn't in play and it's not moving, and compound that with what Jalen does over the next 2 months, right? I mean, these mini camps are going to be in these OTAs and training camp, and the preseason games are going to be so vital for him to show that, hey, man, I can move the ball. I can play at this level, especially in the preseason where it's, like it's college football again, a lot of backups all across the place. So I think that'll be a key component. I think we've probably, and myself included, not only not talked about Sam enough, I would also say we've not talked about the fact that he was in San Francisco with Clint Kubiak. And that is such an advantage. Again, just going back to my
speaking the same language,
my own life experience, right? And just having a Scott Linehan for years, and trust and equity was built, and playing for Mike Shepard. And then Mike went to Buffalo and nearly took me there because he knew how important that relationship of communication is, and knowing from day one they can just be on the same page. That it's not like, okay, well, you remember, when you did this in Carolina and you had that concept in New York. Like, no, we know what it's supposed to look like. And by the way, in San Francisco, that thing operated pretty well with Brock Purdy and his skill set, right? And even some of his limitations. So I think that year of time on task together, of being able to speak the same language, should be advantageous to get this thing cranked up that much quicker.
All of that makes sense. All makes perfect sense. Not going to argue with it even a little bit. And my gut tells me that Sam Darnold's going to be pretty successful. Just a gut feeling. But I'm also just going to be honest with you. Like, the moment things go awry, it's going to be really hard for me not to start thinking about the guy who's going to potentially be sitting on the bench because of the upside. And you're right, Brock. I won't get there until after we see him at minicamp, after we see him at training camp.
I'll be really curious.
I got to get eyes on him, but he's the person I most want to get eyes on.
I'll be really, really, really curious when we're out there for OTAs and training camp and your blink analysis. I will be very curious to see how that matches up.
Yep.
And you might just be completely and totally insufferable.
I might be.
If he has a day where he is just unbelievable and looks like, Lamar Jackson / Josh Allen all wrapped up into one.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
I might be totally insufferable. And it's also entirely possible that I walk in here like Kramer after the bet. I'm out and walk away. Like, I am completely capable of going in either direction on Jalen Milroe. So don't turn this into Salk's already 100% Milroe. I'm not that guy. I got to watch him. I got to see more of it. I want to know what I'm getting myself into before I go down that road. But it's just fair warning. He's so freaking interesting and intriguing that there's that part of me that just has the curiosity
factor. And we've not
factor.
had this for 12 years.
Yeah.
Like, we've not had this.
That's right.
Like, there wasn't, the Drew Lock, Geno was not this.
No, it wasn't. I was never very intrigued by either one of them.
There was a wrestle there forever. There was never this.
No.
If they drafted him a Holmes or whatever, in the 20s that year, then it would have been this. But yeah, we've not had something like this in a long, long, long time.
All right, let's come back here. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. I've got one of my favorite people on TV going through a long comparison with the Mariners that I think everyone needs to hear at 8:30. We've got Stacy Rost, who's going to join us, as I said, and then some fun games and your calls. There's a lot going on. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Even the guys that if you look at their average and go, not off to a good start, look at the on base. This team has been outstanding at working the pitcher, at taking walks. You look at Randy Arozarena, for instance. He's had huge hits. He's had some big moments that have been game-winning moments, but overall, he's not hitting that well. He's hitting 208, but he's got a 359 on base.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, and you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle. And plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Hey there, I'm Phil Briggs, Navy veteran and host of CBS Eye on Veterans weekly radio show and podcast. And I often think of my old boss in the Navy, Commander Reed, especially when I'm trying to motivate my kids. Now I know how he must have felt trying to motivate me. This Military Appreciation Month, Navy Federal Credit Union wants to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimers.
For down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Dave Wyman joined by the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish CyberKnife. Andy, what would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife. I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Reach out to Swedish CyberKnife directly at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Pacific Power Batteries understands batteries for golfers, batteries for your car, your golf cart, and your bag's electric cart. We also sell good, used, 5-year-old E-Z-Go and Yamaha golf carts with a written satisfaction guarantee starting as low as $17.99. Located in Everett, Marysville, Mount Vernon, Bellingham, Monroe, and Wenatchee, you'll find our staff is well-trained in batteries and the latest charging technology. Pacific Power Batteries, with batteries for golfers.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, well, it's always good when you get the day off and then your opponent, who's already flown across the country, is dealing with a late-night game in Anaheim, which they had. Blue Jays won it, but still probably got in super early this morning. They have not been playing very good baseball. These two teams, if you had given me the opposite records at the beginning of the year, I think a lot of people would have believed it. The Mariners are 7th in runs scored. The Blue Jays are 26th. That's remarkable. There are a lot of stats that'll get you there, but I would say the most telling, Mariners have hit essentially twice as many home runs. After last night, it's now 51-26. The Mariners are 4th. The Blue Jays are dead last in home runs for a team with Vlad and Bichette and Santander. And again, like, I kind of get into the money element of it. They're spending $246 million. They're 5th in baseball in terms of money being spent, and I think that number actually goes up to 3rd or 4th if you only look at the active roster, because the Dodgers and some others have so many teams, so many players that are hurt. They're not getting any kind of return on that investment. Pitching-wise, Mariners 11th in ERA, Toronto 24th. Yeah, one of these teams is good. The other one of these teams is essentially bad. And again, like, you're going to spend that much money and not win. My guess is somebody is going to pay. It's probably going to be the manager. Unless they turn things around very, very quickly, I would guess that the manager ends up getting fired sooner rather than later. Also, I'm not convinced he's a very good manager, if for no other reason than because he woke up Cal Raleigh by saying that he was pretty easy to pitch to, and since then, Cal has just completely abused that franchise. In any event, the Mariners are playing some really good ball. How relevant, how important, how telling is it? Adnan Verk yesterday with Bump and Stacy.
For Seattle specifically, when would I start sort of, quote-unquote, buying the Kool-Aid and feeling pretty good? I'd wait until the All-Star break. I mean, Memorial Day's almost here, a few more weeks. If they're still hitting, okay, great. But if I can sustain that and I'm going into July and the All-Star break and my team is still a top 5, top 10 offense, I feel pretty good about it.
Well, top 5, that one's going to be tough. Top 10, yeah. I mean, obviously they've got to continue to play a little bit over and above expectations, but I think based on the start they've had, it's not in any way impossible. Pretty good pitching matchup tonight. Luis Castillo, who obviously we have fond memories of what he did to Toronto in that 2022 playoff series. Kevin Gossman, who was also in that series, will go for the Jays.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I don't think we're going to get a full-blown Jadeveon Clowney conversation, but he did get released yesterday, so I'll at least bring it up. The oft-available former Seahawk is back on the market. He was released in Carolina. 32. I actually would have guessed he was a little older than that. It's funny. 32 years old, 5.5 sacks in 14 games last year, so he's not done. There's history here, obviously, with him in Seattle, and then Baltimore with Mike McDonald. But I would say this is a waste for the Seahawks. I don't think they need to go in that direction. They're pretty well set on the edge. I like all 4 of their edge guys. Remember, we were talking about this during the draft. Like, if you have a chance to get great, if Jalen Walker, somebody was like, okay, fine. But you've got 4 starting caliber, or at the very least, significant contributor caliber players on the edge. I don't think that's a position where you need more depth, especially where there are other spots where you do. You need more depth at corner. You could use more depth at center. You do have some question marks after your starters at linebacker. So the idea of going after someone like Jadeveon Clowney, I don't think that makes a tremendous amount of sense. We talk about the interior of the offensive line, and they are getting a little better at guard. And let's face it, that position has become more important over the last few years. Mark Schlereth on with Wyman and Bob yesterday explains why.
Guards have been getting paid, and I mean paid handsomely. And I think part of the whole concept is, one, a lot of the NFL is the quick passing game. It's really morphed in from the college game, right? So it's all this quick 3-step, out of gun, got to have a strong pocket. You got to have a pocket that doesn't get pushed in the lap of the quarterback, and the guy's got to be able to step up, get away from those edge rushers who are the best, and find avenues to throw the ball and to manipulate the pocket inside.
Yeah, I think we're seeing all of that, right? And we saw a lot of the problems this past year when they didn't have the ability to defend that or block that up. So, yeah, totally agree, and really glad they did what they did in the first round of the draft. Still, would like to see even more done along those lines.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Sue Bird, congratulations to the new managing director of USA Women's Basketball. It's a newly created position. So she's essentially picking coaches and players for the big international contests, Olympics, etc. Used to be done by a committee. Now it's going to be done by Sue Bird. I'm sure she'll rely on others for help. Grant Hill has the same role with the men's team, so they're kind of streamlining that process. And I like her quote. She says, I played for USA Basketball for so long and always enjoyed my time with them. I love representing my country. I love being competitive on that stage. To have that opportunity to do it in a different role is exciting. So that's kind of cool. And then we've been kind of mentioning the story. I think it's a cool one, even though it's about the Rams. They said yesterday they're going to hold mandatory minicamp in Maui at War Memorial Stadium in Wailuku. Kevin Demoff, let's see, I've got some Kevin Demoff sound here as he is talking about what they're doing. He's the Rams team president.
For us as an organization that likes to push the envelope, but first, the idea of taking our entire organization to Maui to celebrate the end of the offseason, our players, our coaches, their hard work, to bring them together, to give our fans a chance to really travel with the Rams, to come be part of this week, to celebrate with our team, to be around it. It's so different than the regular season when we travel. It's focused on playing a game and getting a win. This is really going to be a celebration of all things Rams, a partnership with the state of Hawaii, with Hawaii Tourism Authority, and really bringing joy to the community of Maui.
Yeah, Wailuku, a little in, a little out of the way. It's kind of close to the airport. If you've been there at all, you kind of maybe driven through Wailuku before you get to, if you're heading to West Maui, before you get to Lahaina, Kaanapali, Kapalua, etc. So it's awesome. I just think it's a really cool deal, and trying to support an area that obviously is still suffering some of the effects of the fires from a few years ago. Apparently, they're going to host a girls' flag football and boys for girls and boys clinic for 400 local students at that stadium, and they're joining Habitat for Humanity. So, yeah, really, really cool stuff, and got to give them some credit for that. That is everything you need to know. We do a quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show.
Is it everything, or should we maybe? Did you want to talk about Wyman and Bob referencing you on their show yesterday?
Oh yeah, what's the deal with that? Do we have the sound of that? Of all the things, I can't believe I'm under attack for laughing. What?
I didn't catch this live, Lyle. I don't know if you did, but you did kind of a maniacal laugh.
That's me.
Daniel Jeremiah was talking the other day.
Yeah.
Here was Wyman and Bob yesterday.
I'm just going to hear this laugh one more time. Yeah.
I would say that maybe conservatively the 15th time I've heard about a quarterback entering into the league that's going to play a package of plays, and I can tell you we're 0 for 15. It never happens. It's always...
What the hell was that?
Mike should have like a thin little mustache that he's twirling while he says that.
Oh, you slay me, Daniel Jeremiah. All right, coming up.
What's that last part? Is he trying to insinuate that it's a fake laugh? It's a co-conspirational kind of laugh.
Okay.
I think is how I would describe it. Yeah, like, hey, we're on the same page. We both kind of agree. It wasn't supposed to be
It's
evil.
so funny, though. I didn't catch it live. Did you, Lyle?
Do you think it was evil?
No, I didn't catch it live. Actually, I feel like I've heard you laugh like that before, and I don't really think much of it. It's just
same.
probably how you laugh.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes I'm just evil. I think it's kind of what we're getting out of this is I'm just evil. Well, I may laugh during this next segment, partly because Stacy makes me laugh, and she'll be here at 8:45. But before we do it, one of our favorite voices in Major League Baseball had a lot to say about the Mariners. You guys will hear it next on Brock and Salk.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do.
Incredible comeback again from this group.
At-bat by at-bat, and they find a way.
Tonight, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Michael Bumpus here, and golfers, how does a golf handicap level up your game? First, it levels the playing field so you can compete with golfers of any skill level. 2, shooting par isn't realistic for many of us, so a handicap can set achievable goals on your actual skill level. Lastly, tracking your progress helps you set goals towards improvement like I have. You can get a handicap index in 3 easy steps. Sign up for a handicap ID, post your scores, and after 3 18-hole rounds, you got it. To learn more, visit wagolf.org/710.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Granger who does the same. Granger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Seattle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Stacy Rost will come in here in about 15 minutes. We'll chat. Sorry, no G today. He's gone. We talked to him yesterday because G is in New England. He's in Boston with his kid for rookie minicamp because G's kid signed with the Patriots. So G is texting me every few minutes from Boston, letting me know that they really like sports there, which is new information to me. I did not know that, but apparently they're really into sports in Boston, and G's shocked to find that people in the restaurants are just talking about the Celtics and want to fire the coach and everything else.
Oh, you just make friends. Like, yeah, there you go and sit down and have lunch, and you just like make friends with whoever's sitting next to you just because you're talking about the team.
He can't get over the fact that everybody's so passionate about sports there. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the thing, G. So
quick side note, but it is about G. After I talked to my dad yesterday, who listened to a lot of the segment yesterday with G, he goes, man, I kind of thought this already, but G. Scott really is insane.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. So anyway, that's why G's not here today. Every once in a while, I like to say nice things about Maura. She never says them back, which is fine. But every once in a while, I like to say nice things about Maura on the air, and I'll do it now just because we happen to just have
I've been told it's my duty not to make your head too big.
I know, and it's fair. You do a great job of shrinking it down to size. But Maura and I just were having a nice chat, and I just wanted to say thank you. That was fascinating. I won't get into obviously any of the details on the air, but that was thank you for telling me that. And I will add that I just said this the other day. Maura's the best. There can't be another producer in the country. There can't be. That finds more sound and cuts more sound and brings more sound to the table than Maura. There can't be.
It's probably a problem. It's kind of an addiction.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's an addiction. This is an addictive part of your personality. I mean, there's so much sound we can't play it all, and then I always feel guilty because Maura's worked her tail off as the sound hound, and then we can't get to all of it. We only have a 4-hour show every day. But this is pretty cool, and this is something Maura cut yesterday for us. So Mark DeRosa, who we love, mostly just because he sounds like Jim Florentine, and he's got kind of just a funny way of talking about the Mariners and everything else in baseball. You might remember him, former Cubs second baseman and utility guy. He's a decent little player, but he's been awesome on MLB Network. We can't get him on very often because he's on in the mornings. But he did this whole, what would you call this, like analogy almost?
A nautical themed breakdown of the Mariners roster.
Yes, because they are the Mariners. They went deep into the nautical theme, and he made little analogies for almost all of their key and crucial players. So here's a little.
Hal Raleigh's the captain of this ship. He's responsible for the overall operation of the ship. He will be the reason to navigate this team to the postseason again. We've seen it once, we'll see it again. Tied for the major league lead in homers with 12, ninth among MLB qualifiers with a .567 slug, and putting the digits down.
Putting the digits down. I love his expressions. All right, no disagreement there, right? Captain of the ship?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, we've been talking all about how we think he's captain material, et cetera. So, captain of the ship, I think, makes perfect sense.
Also, isn't that Mark DeRosa that said that?
Yeah.
I don't know the name. Who's Florentine?
He sounds like Jim Florentine, I say. Yeah. Jim Florentine's a comedian.
It was a weird rabbit hole Justin and Salk went to.
Oh, dude, but he sounds just like him.
Yeah, but no one else knew who he was.
He's a pretty famous comedian. He's been around forever.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Anyway.
no. I mean, Cal's the captain of the team.
He's captain of the team. So who was Luis Castillo?
Who is our first officer? I got to give it to the longest tenured guy in the show, Luis Castillo on their roster. A 3.29 ERA in 7 starts this season. He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in 6 of his 7 starts. And he has to have excellent navigation skills, which I think he does. So he'll be the perfect first officer.
Does he mean he's got the most experience in the big leagues?
I think so.
Because I think Dylan Moore is actually the longest tenured player on this team right now in terms of time with the Mariners.
Time with the Mariners, yeah, but I think The Rock's been in the big leagues longer.
that would make sense. It's funny that he would be the oldest guy or the longest tenured guy in the team. They really don't have a lot of. I mean, no, it's got to be. It's Solano, obviously. If you start really looking, the dude's 37 years old. He's been here since the dawn of time. But in terms of kind of relevant parts of the team, in terms of big league experience, yeah. All right, that makes sense. So, all right, Luis Castillo is the first officer. I like that. Second officers?
Okay. Who's our second officers? Let's put J.P. Crawford and Jorge Polanco in those spots. I would trust them out at sea. J.P. Crawford, 7th among MLB qualifiers with a .408 on-base percentage. Picking it at shortstop. He's on a 15-game on-base streak. Flip it over to Jorge Polanco. We've already talked about him. The start he's gotten off to can't be described. Second highest weighted runs created plus in Major League Baseball this season at 216.
I could listen to Mark DeRosa tell me anything and find it funny. Like, there's nothing that comes out of his mouth that I don't find sort of entertaining. It's funny, man. Oh, yeah, JP and Polanco, I trust them out at sea. Like, what? What does that even mean? Who cares? It's funny.
Okay, so I looked, if you're curious. Solano got into the league in 2012. Luis got into the league in 2017. Polanco got into the league in 2014.
Okay. How about Dylan Moore? He might be the only other guy, or Garver maybe?
Well, Dylan Moore was 19 because his time with the Mariners was his first.
Okay, so he's later. Garver? He's been around for a little while.
I'll look it up. I'm going to guess off the top of my head, Garver was
2016, 17, somewhere in that
he had
range.
that huge year in 2019. So
Right.
it was before, 17.
17. Okay, so look, I mean, take Solano out of it, and yeah, it probably is Luis Castillo, which is funny. Like, I don't really think of him as like an older veteran kind of guy, but I guess he is sort of entering that stage of his career, and he's had a lot of success. And yeah, all right, I'll buy it. That's pretty cool. All right, so your second officers are JP and Polanco. They're just putting in work, right? They're just just putting in work up the middle. As for Julio, you got to know where he's going to be.
The chief engineer, the engine, the difference maker on this team will have to be J-Rod. He is their franchise superstar player. Gotten off to a slow start, starting to pick it up. He hit 196 over his first 28. He's slashing 333, a 389 on base, and a 545 slug with 2 homers over his last 8 games.
All right. So, by the way, love those stats and love that Julio's picking it up. That, I think, is actually the best analogy, other than the Cal one. I think that's the best analogy. Maybe because I don't really know what the first and second officers do. So I don't really know whether Luis, JP, and Polanco fit with the first and second officers thing. Isn't it the first mate, by the way?
No clue.
All right. I thought
I'm
it was
sure we'll get some text.
I thought you had mates when you were maybe that's just on an Australian boat. Sorry.
By the way,
what? No, go ahead.
Have you ever noticed that, maybe you guys have talked about this, I don't know, but you can tell if somebody's from Seattle or not by the way they mention Julio?
100%.
Because if you call him J-Rod, you're probably not from Seattle.
100%. No one in Seattle says J-Rod.
Right.
No one. No one who watches the Mariners regularly says he's not J-Rod other than the J-Rod squad. That's the only J-Rod element of Julio Rodriguez. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
I cringe every time I hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't cringe. I just noticed it. TJ and I talk about it a lot. Like, people outside the market call him J-Rod. People here call him just Julio.
Julio. He's just Julio. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Every time it does kind of make me cringe. I don't like it. I don't like J-Rod. He's not J-Rod. That's way too A-Rod-like, and that's just not who he is.
Well, I don't mind the nickname. He's had that to his name since he was
don't like it.
a prospect.
I just don't think that's who he is. He's Julio. I like to keep it that way. Not
This
into
is
the
the
J-Rod
first
thing.
officer, also known as the chief officer or chief mate. So I guess they're interchangeable.
Okay. I prefer mates. Prefer to have a good mate.
When he started talking about lobster pots was where it got me.
We're
Like,
getting
they went
there.
too far with
Oh,
this.
we're getting there. First, let me get to Munoz.
We had to put Andres Munoz on the anchor. Okay, he's going to send the anchor down. He's one of our top deckhands.
We live or die because of him.
We live or die. He has got to end it. The final 3 outs, and he's done exactly that for this team out of the chute. He hasn't allowed an earned run in 18 innings pitched this season. He's got the 7th highest whip rate in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
And then we need a bunch of deckhands to keep the people entertained, catch some fish, keep everybody in good spirits. You watch Below Deck? We're going to start it out with Randy Arozarena. He's keeping everybody in good spirits. How about Rowdy Tellez? He seems like a jolly, nice guy. And hit a huge 3-run bomb to get them back in the game. 7 for 20 with a homer and 6 RBIs over his last 6 games. Friend of the show, Dylan Moore's been fantastic.
Revelation.
You can argue he's the best utility player in the game. 295 with 6 bombs and an 896 OPS. And Robert, I know my man Brian Wu gave up some runs yesterday, but he gave him 6 strong. He's 13. Yes, he's 13-4 with a 299.
I would like to hear Mark DeRosa say Arozarena on loop for the rest of my life. Cracks me up, man.
Do you think this is how he gives pep talk to Team USA before the WBC too?
Was he their manager?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I don't know that. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I would hope so. You're the deckhands. You got to get everybody excited.
Mike Trout, you're the CEO.
Randy Arozarena. His voice is just so funny. And then yes, Maura, you thought maybe he went a little too far with this final analogy. Let's hear it.
They're pulling up some lobster pots. As the season goes on, I mean, what's in them? Maybe Logan Gilbert comes back healthy. We know we're getting George Kirby back healthy at some point.
How did he not go to his guy punching tickets, Matt Brash? Right? Wasn't that the guy he originally was excited about and said punching tickets about? So, all right. Well, there you go. That is the full nautical analogy.
Definitely some dedication to this bit. They even had graphics with like Dan Wilson in the like Gordon's fisherman outfit.
No.
There was a boat named the Big Dumper. It was hilarious.
Well, that was, the good ship Mariner. You don't think he sounds like Jim Florentine?
Yeah, his mom just got remarried, my ex or whatever, so, yeah, everything's all right. But, she had to call me and let me know for the 4th time. But
Don't you think they sound alike?
There is some similarity.
Oh, come on. You listen to them talk.
Yeah.
I was husband number 3, but whatever. No, but she called me up. She goes, look, I'm just letting you know I'm getting remarried. I'm like, that's cool,
Blows me away how similar they sound. Like,
That's pretty similar.
Can't get over it. He's pulling up lobster pots or something. Yeah, here's Matt Brash from back in the day going off. Where is, here he is.
You got Matt Brash who can punch tickets.
It is too bad we can't get him on more because he's a fun guest. He just, unfortunately, he's on in the morning, right? So it's like
the
really
energy
hard.
level is always Lyle on caffeine.
Yes, he's on point. He's got the whole energy thing going. And anyway, I do appreciate that entire analogy. What does it all lead to? What does it all mean? I don't know. I mean, maybe nice just that they're gaining a little bit of national attention. Here's sort of the very end of that whole thing.
So, the offense, do I think it still needs an influx? Yes.
But it's been great.
But it's been fantastic. And the rotation, which was our strength, is a little bit of a weakness, and we can get... There's something here.
There's something here. Yeah, there's something here. I think he's right. And you heard, because we played it earlier, that he's still buying the Astros over the Mariners. Whoever else it was, Chris Young was still buying the Rangers over the Mariners. Okay, fine. I mean, again, like, it doesn't really matter who's picking whom. That's really not all that important. I just like sort of the idea of looking through this team, understanding that they've done something already. They've accomplished something already, which we weren't necessarily expecting them to do. Come out with this hot start. And starting to gain just a little bit of traction. If you want to go see them, they are on their way home right now for this big homestand. 6 games. I mentioned Mother's Day, which of course is Sunday. The clear structured purse giveaway. 10,000. The first 10,000 moms will take home a Mariner-themed clear structured purse, which is presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort, plus Kids Run the Bases. If you want to wait to go until Monday, it is against the Yankees Star Wars night. So any fan who purchases tickets through the online ticket special is going to get a limited edition Mariners-themed Rebel Alliance button-up shirt. Oh, I'm sorry, even better. A button-up shirt. How great does that sound? Of the Rebel Alliance. So for you Star Wars geeks out there, this is going to be good. Now, I'm guessing all the nerds will have already gotten their Maple Grove shirt on Saturday, as they'll be there hanging out with Stick Riz. So there's some good stuff going on at the ballpark.
I would love more than anything to pin all this Star Wars stuff back on you, because you'll know how I feel when you put me on the hot seat about all this.
I don't like Star Wars. I mean, I've seen it. I just don't like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I've seen Star Wars. I'm not culturally illiterate. I just don't care for it. Total difference. I may be what is it? I'm a contrarian? Yes, I might be a contrarian, Lyle, but I'm not illiterate.
I see.
It's a total difference. Hi, Stacy Rost.
Lyle, have you not seen Star Wars?
Oh, no, I love it all. I've seen every movie like a million times.
Okay.
It's like the only thing he's seen.
No.
I just love how popular that franchise is, where Lyle can turn to you, Mike, and be like, nerd.
Right.
Have you not seen Star Wars? What a loser. Oh, my God. Go shove yourself in a locker.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal when I was a kid in the 80s. I'm not going to lie. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You got your USA hat on today. Is that for the Pope?
Yep, that sure is. We finally got one, guys.
Little Pope support?
We did it, folks.
Little papal
Yeah,
support.
when they had the smoke coming out of the Vatican, it should have been red, white, and blue. That's my thought
Or
about
is that
it.
for Sue Bird becoming the new head of USA basketball?
That too. It's for both of those things. Have you seen all the tweets about the Pope being a White Sox fan and how like that's a true marker that like he believes in God?
Yes.
I love that.
I do too. I've really kind of been enjoying the papal
Twitter
papal
coverage.
humor,
Yeah.
I guess you would call it.
Dating back to the draft when it was Cardinals pick is in and they were like, we got a new Pope. Just the crossover of Twitter, the NFL draft, and then also the Pope getting
And
I
then
don't know,
him being from
elected.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tremendous.
I wish it would have been like obviously we don't know what it looks like behind the scenes, but what if it's like a Top Chef kind of thing, or like Tyra Banks, you know what I mean? Like she's like, 2 popes stand in front of me right now, but I only have 1 photo in my hands.
The nickname Chicago Pope is just so good, too.
So good, yeah.
It's all good. I've really
Premiering
been enjoying
NBC's
it.
at 9.
Do you think you could get as into sort of like Pope drama as you have with the royal family?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Have you seen any of the Pope movie, like any of the various movies or shows? The 2 popes or Conclave?
No, but I need to
or
start doing my research. The
young
Jordan
Pope?
Hudson getting banned from UNC stuff is gossipy, but not enough for me. I need more.
That's not gossipy
I need
enough?
more sports gossip.
How much
I mean,
more
no,
gossipy
it's
could it
amazing.
be?
Okay, did you hear all the stuff from Pablo Torre?
Well, Maura's been filling us in throughout the break, so I've heard it all. What do you think? What's your
God
take?
You guys have Maura and I.
I know. Well, I say that all the time.
So my take is that. So I have a couple takes on this. First, I don't think that it's this thing of like people have compared it to like an Anna Nicole Smith, like, oh, Bill's not in his right mind. I don't think it's that. I think that he just only cares about football. And
it seems like he cares about at least one other thing.
Well, sure, and that's why Jordan's there, and she's managing all this other stuff in his life because he truly doesn't care. Like he doesn't care about it. I don't think it's
So
like
he
he's
doesn't
too
care
old,
about
not in his
money.
right mind.
He doesn't care about the shows. He doesn't care about anything else.
I just think it's not important to him.
Okay.
I do think he cares deeply about football, and all he wants is just to coach and game plan and scheme and cheat. I have no idea. But the second take I have on this is the people that say, oh, Jordan's only with him for his money. First of all, obviously. But secondly, you think he's with Jordan because they like really connect about movies they grew up watching? He could date a 40-year-old and she'd be 20 years younger than him.
I don't know that it's just about money for her. I think it's more about fame.
Well, yes, and apparently she had previously dated a man in his 60s or so.
So this is a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling Maura and Lyle some theories I have, but I don't know that I feel comfortable repeating them on the air.
I was just going to say, what are the theories?
I can't quite get into them all. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable, and I feel like it would reflect poorly. So I'm not going to get into them on the air. I'm happy to talk to you once we're done with the segment.
Great, we'll do that.
And give you a few of my more wild theories on this.
Please do.
But I do think that her thing, maybe it's money, I don't know, but it does seem like fame is at the center of it all.
Yeah, power.
Yeah, more she seems to me to be stuck in the whole like I want to be famous thing that is pretty common currently in the country whose hat you are wearing right now. People
USA,
in the US
we did it, new pope.
They like to be pretty famous.
Yeah.
And that story of her like trying to get herself into commercials that he was in, that one almost like rings the most true to me.
Yes. My favorite thing about that one is that they pretended to film. And it reminded me so much of just how all my friends and family have probably felt about me my whole life. Like you were letting this person think like, yeah, no, we got it. You did so good. And then
why would you think that about yourself?
This is objectively funny. Like imagine someone who's filming, she's thinking she's filming this entire commercial and these people are like not even turning the cameras on. And they're like, no, it looks great, Jordan. You look amazing.
Who was it who told us that story? Was it Evan Cohen? Who told us that story at the Super Bowl?
He said they recorded with someone at the fake recorded with someone at the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. That's amazing content. And if you're someone right now that's like stick to sports, this is the best sports story happening right now. Like
it is.
I know that there are plenty of other things, but I'm sorry. We're talking about a Hall of Fame coach, one of the best coaches we've ever seen in this crazy dating situation.
How does this story end?
I think that they get married. No, he won't marry her.
No,
I think that
he didn't marry Linda Holloway. He's not going to marry her.
Yeah, but I think that they stay together. I just don't think he cares. I don't think he cares about anything.
Okay.
Or anyone. I think they stay together. I'm going to call it at least another year.
Okay.
What if she's the opposite of Leo? You know what I mean? Like she's like, I only date them until they're 85, and then like Leo's like 25. Once you hit 26, I'm done with you, and she's kind of the opposite.
I thought you were talking about the new pope.
Oh, I could be.
When you said Leo, it's like Leo the 14th.
Oh my God, no!
Or maybe you're going back to one of the previous Leos.
I like calling him Bob, Pope Bob.
But he's Pope Leo.
He's Pope Leo the 14th, which is like. Did you also see that the last two popes were elected? Again, I'm still figuring out if anyone Catholic or from the East Coast can tell me how this works out.
Same thing.
If they were like elected or voted on, were the last two Seahawks Super Bowl appearances.
Yes, I did see that. 2005 and 2013. Well, yeah, I mean, two of the last three. They did make it in 2014, even if people want to kind of delete that element.
Super Bowl didn't happen.
Yeah, if you want to delete that
we
from
went
your
from
mind.
48 to 50.
All right, so let me ask you a question. The next quarterback who takes the Seahawks, maybe not all the way to the Super Bowl, but to the NFC Championship
I already
game.
know what you're going to ask.
Is he currently on the roster?
I knew that was going to be the question.
Well, I was asking everybody this question the other day.
I loved the conversation you guys had the other day, and we played the sound from Daniel Jeremiah, too. No.
No. So it's not Sam Darnold. Obviously, it's not Drew Lock, and it's not Jalen Milroe.
I don't think so. I think that I allowed Daniel Jeremiah to convince me of this. We ended up, though, having a conversation about like, well, what is a franchise quarterback? Can you win a Super Bowl without one? Which we know you can, but can you win multiple?
Hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's not common. And the fact that everyone will always go, Trent Dilfer, kind of points out how rare it is. You know what I mean? So I think my gut just tells me that this team as a whole is still very incomplete, very flawed, and I don't think any one of the 3 quarterbacks on this roster fill those gaps or are talented enough to fill those gaps. I could be completely wrong.
So let me ask you, just if you were to take Josh Allen and put him on this team, do you think they'd go to a Super Bowl?
I'd feel more confident, but what's also interesting is Josh Allen has yet to get to a Super Bowl.
All right, but like if you were to put Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes,
they are just infinitely better products.
Yeah, like I think you could go to a Super Bowl. I'm not saying you would go to a Super Bowl, but I think you could very easily
So you
take
think
this
team is closer?
No, I think those guys can bring teams to Super Bowls. Like I think the problem that that Josh Allen has isn't Josh Allen or the Bills, it's Patrick Mahomes. I think the problem that Lamar Jackson has isn't himself or his team. It's Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like those 3 guys and Joe Burrow are all kind of stuck in the same conference. If it wasn't for that, I think they'd all have been to Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I think if you put any one of those guys on the Seahawks team, they could go to a Super Bowl.
Do you know how badly those guys probably wish they were in the NFC?
Well, they could leave. I mean, like, it wouldn't be that hard. You just sign a contract with somebody else.
Yeah, ideally
they've all signed
no
big
one
money
else
to
in
stay
the
where they
NFC
are.
West.
Yeah, unbelievable, right? Just how many of those quarterbacks.
What do you think?
I think I'm probably with you. I think I'd probably say no. I'm excited to see what Darnold is, but it's hard for me to shake my like USC view of him. I was never that high on Darnold, even in college. And I'm fascinated by Milroe, and I'm just reserving judgment until I get to watch him more. But I'm just kind of warning everybody today, like there's a decent chance that I'm going to start wanting them to play Milroe at some point if I like what I see. Because the idea of getting Jalen Hurts too, who's faster but not as strong, on a rookie deal for 4 years is pretty intoxicating.
I think if Jalen Milroe can evolve as a passer quickly, it becomes a much more fascinating conversation. His personality, his athleticism off the charts and make for a very intriguing prospect. I think that the comparisons to 2012 are incredibly tempting. I've been making them as well, but Russell Wilson was a more finished product.
No doubt.
And Matt Flynn, not as good as Sam Darnold.
No, but both guys kind of on contracts that while it made them the starter, didn't guarantee it long term, that's for sure. All right, Bump and Stacy coming up at 10 o'clock today.
Yeah, we're going to open with Jordan and Bill.
Okay, well, I'm
no,
sure.
We're not. We're talking Mariners.
All right, a lot of Mariner conversation. That's about an hour from now. We'll come right back. Thank you, Stacy. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Nicky Manwari has been compared to Cam Chancellor, but have you heard another one that you think may be a better fit?
He's a mix between Cam Chancellor and a Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is a bit better when it comes to covering, and Cam Chancellor was just that pit bull roaming the block, ready to fight anybody who goes across the middle of the field. He has a little bit of both in him.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. One of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey guys, did you know that half of men over age 50 have erectile dysfunction on some level? Whether you have mild, moderate, or severe ED, West Coast Men's Health can help. We don't prescribe pills and hope they work. Instead, we treat the root cause of the problem with acoustic wave therapy, which breaks down plaque, unclogs arteries, and restores blood flow. We have treated thousands of men across our 11 locations nationwide and have established ourselves as a leader in the industry. So whether you have ED, Peyronie's disease, or suffer from chronic pain, such as neuropathy, carpal tunnel, or Dupuytren's contracture, West Coast Men's Health can help. No pills, no shots, no surgery, just results.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you have a car sitting around collecting dust? Well, turn that car into cash at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your vehicle today, pay you right up front, but it gets way better. Once they resell your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. I'm here with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford in Auburn. So, Mark, it's been a few years since you started offering this. How's it going? And how much money have you given back to your customers that sold their cars to Wayscar Ford under this program?
It's going great, Stacy. As a matter of fact, we've given back over $750,000 to the customers that have sold their cars to us on our vehicle profit sharing program.
Wow, that's fantastic. Why do you think it's working so well?
Let's face it, it's Thunderdome out there with all the auto theft, the identity theft, and the other scams going on today. Less and less people are comfortable trying to sell their car themselves. So we offer them a way to get a lot more money for their car without having to go through all the hassle of trying to sell it themselves.
And it's only at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. WayscarFord.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
That's very nice from the 360, the rare compliment. Actually, we got two people who said this. Hey guys, I love Brock and Salk. Bump and Stacy are great, but I think Salk and Stacy are my favorite pairing. Great chemistry. Oh, thank you. That's
I love
nice.
when you guys talk on Fridays.
I do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
It's fun to mix it up sometimes.
Yeah, Robbie.
You get a different side of people when they're with different hosts.
I totally agree. A nice text from Robbie as well. Man, while I love both Brock and Bump, truly, Salk and Stacy show would be absolute fire, 100%. Well, it's nice. Thank you. I love working with Stacy. We had a ton of fun when we did 3 hours for the draft a couple weeks ago on Saturday morning. That was fun. I love working with Stacy. When Brock eventually ditches me and Bump goes on to great fame somewhere else, Stacy and I will be left behind. The B team will probably have to pick up the pieces together. It's only a matter of time, right? I mean, so in like 4 or 5 years, You can get ready for something like that. All right. We got about an hour to go. I have not been in. Have I missed 2 Fridays in a row? I think I have.
Or like 2 of the last 3.
Maybe 2 of the last 3. Yeah. I feel like it's been a while since I've talked with the people, and I'm excited about that. So 866-979-3776. Start thinking about open phone lines coming up
You know
here
what
in a
it was?
half hour.
We had draft reaction one Friday.
That's right. We had draft
we haven't
reaction
talked
on
to the people
one.
in a few weeks.
And I was gone, obviously, last Friday. I was making my way through Southern California. And so I'm excited to do that and hear from you guys coming up at 9:30. Right now, though, we've got a little Which is Better.
I spent a couple summers as a broadcast intern on the Cape League, and they had a lot of lobster out there.
Lobster
so yeah,
rolls.
Yeah, the lobster rolls were good.
I mean, these 2 are usually treats too. They're a little more expensive.
My favorite is actually probably the fried clams that you can only get back east with the whole bellies. Whole belly fried clam.
Oh, my dad is big on those.
They're
Like he
unbelievable.
hates any kind of fried clams that doesn't have the belly.
No, I won't even eat them. They're not even clam. Why bother? That's just
You're
essentially
with
French.
my dad on this.
Those are French fries. Right. It's a whole circus. Is that what your dad says?
Yes.
It's going to be a circus over there.
That and the fried scallops, but he says it's pronounced scallops. But I'm saying
Yeah.
it wrong.
All right. Which is better, Denny's or IHOP? Great question.
IHOP.
Why?
I would go IHOP too.
I like breakfast food, and when you want to kind of make it a, exception to like kind of splurge on some breakfast food, theirs is pretty good.
Wait, splurge?
Yeah, I don't know.
You think of IHOP? on kind of a silly formal Friday we've been having today between Brock being weird and my golf story, walking off the golf course yesterday in frustration with myself, and eating a Jack in the Box sourdough Jack, and then Stacy was here, so we've had a lot of kind of weird stuff. So we'll see. We'll get a little more serious for the end of this show. We'll give you guys everything you need to know, and then at 9:30 we'll open up the phone lines for whatever you guys want to talk about. I would imagine there's a lot of Mariner response, maybe even some to the column I wrote yesterday, all about strikeouts and contact and why this Mariner team is hitting and a whole lot more. So that's coming up in 20 after everything you need to know next.
Rowdy Tellez, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Make it 9 straight series wins for baseball's hottest team.
This is what winning teams do. Incredible comeback again from this group.
At bat by at bat, they find a way.
Tonight, the Mariners are back home in the first of 3 against the Blue Jays, with Wyman and Bob live from T-Mobile beginning at 2 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. And every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here with an incredibly special guest, the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy's a proud Seattle sports listener and recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish CyberKnife. Andy, tell us about your treatment.
The entire treatment was just 5 days, less than an hour a day. I spent more time commuting to the appointment than actually being in treatment.
Any side effects during or after?
I've had very few side effects. I've been very lucky to not have some of the side effects that I was worried about with other treatments.
What would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife, and I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Thank you, Andy, and congratulations. Reach out to Swedish CyberKnife directly. You don't even need a referral. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All router and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Are you guys ready for the weekend? I know I am. The Mariners should be as well. Cool weekend series as the Jays will be in town. They are fresh off a late night in Anaheim, a late night flight. For whatever reason, they did not play a getaway day matinee there. I guess the Angels were mad because they had to fly. The players had to fly, I think, to the East Coast after that game. And it was their management that chose what time to play. So they were pretty mad that they didn't get a getaway day, and it ends up benefiting the Mariners as well as the Blue Jays get in super late last night, early this morning. And by the way, the Jays already aren't very good. They've been a bad team this year, like much worse than you would have expected. I never love the way that team is designed, but I wouldn't have guessed this. They're not scoring at all. 26th in baseball in scoring runs. The Mariners, of course, are 7th. And you start looking at the underlying numbers, and it makes sense. They're not hitting any home runs, at all. They're basically hitting half the number of home runs as the Mariners. Listen to Adnan Virk, who lives in Toronto, rooted for the Blue Jays growing up, and was on with Bump and Stacy yesterday.
Well, the Jays right now, their lack of power is just horrendous. I mean, they've been out homer 51-25. Vladimir Guerrero was given this $500 million contract, and he is on pace for 19 home runs. This is after averaging 34 home runs over his last 4 seasons. So he has not been the same power hitter. Bo Bichette's been even worse. He has 1 home run so far this year, and he's been healthy. He's played. He just hasn't been effective. I mentioned Santander's yet to get going. Springer's been better, but still only 4 home runs. So their offense is really lackluster. They're scoring the 3rd fewest runs in baseball.
Yeah, they're not scoring at all, not even a little bit. Pretty crazy. Those home run numbers. By the way, they're not pitching much better. Mariners 11th in ERA, Toronto's 24th. So yeah, 1 good team, 1 bad, and we're going to take phone calls here in a few minutes. Generally, when we do, I get a lot of Mariner fans who like to talk about payroll. And generally, I get a little annoyed about it because, while I understand payroll is important, it's not the be-all, end-all. You also have to choose the right players. The Jays are spending nearly $100 million more than the Mariners are, and they stink on ice by spending $246 million to do it. It's not everything. You got to get more right than just payroll. And my guess is, if I were the owner and I were spending that much money and this was the results I was getting, there would probably be some changes made. I'd start with the manager, and I think the GM, president, etc., probably would be on notice as well. Luis Castillo, Kevin Gossman in the opener tonight.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I've been mentioning this today, but it's probably in the old good news, bad news, no news scale. This is probably no news, and that is Jadeveon Clowney being let go in Carolina. He's back on the market for like the millionth time, so we get to have yet another conversation. Hey, do you want Jadeveon Clowney? And at this point, I think I would say no, but not because of him, more because of who the Seahawks are. I think he's still fine. 32, 5.5 sacks last year, played 14 games. Like, I like Jadeveon Clowney. I always liked him as a player. And obviously there's the connection to Mike McDonald, and he was here in Seattle. So there's some stuff that makes sense. I just don't think you need an edge guy. Unless you can pull out, like, you know, a dumb, like, if you want to have that conversation about TJ Watt, I'm at least interested in the conversation because I think he's an upgrade over what you've got. You can talk injury history and all that. I mean, like, there's reasons to say no to that one too. But at least you're going for something better than what you've got. That's why I was interested in Jalen Walker or somebody like that in the draft. But I wasn't looking for them to start taking defensive ends later in the draft because I think you've kind of got 4 guys right now that are starter caliber or very close to it. So I would say no on Jadeveon Clowney. I would save that money, and I'd be thinking to use it at corner, thinking to use it at center, thinking to use it at linebacker, places where you either have starting or depth concerns. I don't think you have either of those right now on the edge.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Finally, just mentioned this earlier, and again with Stacy a few minutes ago, so because of her hat. Sue Bird named Managing Director of USA Women's Hoops. New position. She'll pick the coaches, pick the players for international contests, including the Olympics, and she takes over for a committee. And this maybe needed to happen after the whole Caitlin Clark fiasco the last time. You need somebody in charge, and it looks like that's going to be Sue Bird. She said she played for USA Basketball for so long, always enjoyed her time with them, love representing my country, love being competitive on that stage, and to have the opportunity to do it in a different role is exciting. Cool. All right, there you go. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah, I've been kind of going through some of these Mariner promotions for this homestand because, like, back tonight for this big homestand, Tuesday, this is the last one, AANHPI Heritage Night. That's big. So Mariners will be at T-Mobile Park, recognizing the contributions made by Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities across the Pacific Northwest. That will be Tuesday, May 13th. So yeah, quite a crew. We got college night tonight. Tomorrow, Maple Grove night featuring James Paxton throwing out the first pitch. Sunday, Mother's Day, clear structured purse. Monday, Star Wars night against the Yankees. Tuesday, AANHPI Heritage Night on Tuesday against the Yankees as well. So pretty cool homestand stuff. All right. Should we open up the phone lines? You guys ready? I think we are, right? We're ready to do this. 866-979-3776 phone number. 866-979-3776. We've gone a couple of weeks now without taking phone calls. We had the draft. I wasn't here last week. So we really have a lot to talk about. We haven't really talked to you guys since the draft. So how do you feel about where the Seahawks are at right now? How do you feel about the future of their quarterback room with Sam Darnold and Jalen Milroe and kind of all the changes? How do you see that going? What do you make? Have they done enough on the offensive line? Is this defense good enough to be dominant? Was there a favorite pick? Anywhere you'd like to go with the Seahawks, their offseason and the draft, certainly that works. 866-979-3776. Oh, and by the way, because usually, for whatever reason, open phones has tended to become a Mariner conversation. There's plenty there. What's going on with this team? Did you have any reaction to the conversation we had yesterday or the article that I wrote the night before about strikeouts and contact and the changes in baseball and what this team is doing right and how sustainable it might be? Again, 866-979-3776. Open phone lines on Mariners, on Seahawks. I know we don't get a lot of cracking calls, but I'm always willing because I've been loving these NHL playoffs. Tons of fun to watch. Connor McDavid last night when he hit the turbo button. Oh, my gosh. He just turns it on. Like, good luck. What do the Kraken do? What do they do for a head coach? Why did they go through all of this and keep Ron Francis around? Like, what does that look like? And anything else that's on your mind? NFL, MLB, you name it. So 866-979-3776. Open phone lines. You guys control the show. Whatever you want to talk about, we will do it next.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Nicky Manwari's been compared to Cam Chancellor, but have you heard another one that you think may be a better fit?
He's a mix between Cam Chancellor and a Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is a bit better when it comes to covering, and Cam Chancellor was just that pit bull roaming the block, ready to bite anybody who goes across the middle of the field. He has a little bit of both in him.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
All right, guys, it's Friday. Do you know what you're doing yet for the weekend? Why not head to Snoqualmie Casino? Yes, Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The new hotel is getting real close. August, it's opening up, and it's going to be amazing. Yes, still the Cascade views and the world-class dining. They're adding new restaurants. But the entertainment, yeah, the summer concert series is back. Artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, POD, all this summer overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley. Get tickets at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Goodbye, winter mud. Hello, dream yard. Spring is here. Synthetic Turf Northwest has you covered. No more soggy lawns or weekend yard work. Just green, clean, and ready for backyard barbecues, wiffle ball, or kicking back. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the area leader in synthetic grass, residential and commercial installs, plus turf supplies out of our Woodinville warehouse, and soon in Fife, right off I-5. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com today.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software, upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $2,500 off an energy-efficient Bryan cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Pacific Power Batteries understands batteries for golfers, batteries for your car, your golf cart, and your bag's electric cart. We also sell good, used 5-year-old E-Z-Go and Yamaha golf carts with a written satisfaction guarantee starting as low as $17.99. Located in Everett, Marysville, Mount Vernon, Bellingham, Monroe, and Wenatchee, you'll find our staff is well trained in batteries and the latest charging technology. Pacific Power Batteries, with batteries for golfers.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that, you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, that is the music that we play every Friday at 9:30. Little Fela Kuti to take you into a weekend. And it's supposed to be nice today, right? 70 degrees out, maybe even warmer. It's beautiful out there right now. So for everybody getting themselves set for the weekend, I'll admit a little disappointment. I don't want to be disappointed in you guys. I don't want to have to go Jewish mom guilt on you guys. But you're telling me that with everything that's gone on here in Seattle over the last few weeks, with all the conversations about the Seahawks, Mariners, etc., that we only have a few phone calls? That can't be right. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I see a couple of new people, a couple of older folks who've been on with us for a long time. I would love to hear some new calls. What do you make of? You're trying to tell me that there's only one person who listens to this show who has an opinion right now on the Mariners? That can't be true. It can't be true. It can't be. That's just impossible. Where are all the same old Mariner folks today? What are you guys saying? Where are you guys? Where are the bashers? Where are the happy people who are just want to call in and say the Mariners are great and you're loving what they're doing? Come on. I don't believe that Rich in Auburn is the only Mariner fan with an opinion on this team. Can't be true. 866-979-3776. And I don't believe that Dano and Scott are the only people with something to say about the Seahawks. It just doesn't make sense. There's too much going on. All I should have to ask you is who's going to be the long-term franchise quarterback on this team? Every single Seahawks fan in Seattle should have an opinion on that. So as you're driving to work or hanging out this morning, here they come. Here we go. Here come the people. All right. 866-979-3776. We'll start with Dano because he was first. Oh, he went away. All right. Well, he hung up. I don't know what's going on there. Let me try Rich. Rich is in Auburn. Good morning, Rich. Hello, Rich. Hey, Lyle, you got to pull up the phone line. Hold on. Rich, good morning. There we go.
I'm here. All
right, what's up?
I just wanted to say, this is probably one of the best offenses, if not the best offense I've watched as a Mariner fan. I'm 27 years old. Same as Lyle, I'm pretty sure. So it's I'm just terrified that after all these years of great pitching, that's what's going to fail us. We have Ryan Wu, Luis Castillo, and then a whole bunch of question marks right now, and everything's kind of terrifying me that it's all going to fall apart. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
You ever heard of Frasier?
Frasier, the show?
Yeah.
I know of it.
Okay, yeah, that's all I meant. But you know of it. You know that it took place here in Seattle and all that. You ever? Could you name a Pearl Jam song?
It took place here in Seattle? I didn't know that.
All right. Could you name a Pearl Jam song?
No.
Not one?
No.
Wow. Lyle, victory for you there.
I also have sorry parents like Lyle. So
all right, maybe they just didn't love you. All right, appreciate the phone call. Thank you. Thank you for that. I understand the trepidation. I understand the fear. I understand the waiting for the other shoe to drop. I get it. It's still early. It makes sense to have some of that fear. But you know what? I was going to play this earlier. I forgot to play the sound. Hold on. Let me play this for you. Maybe this will make you feel a little bit better. This is Adnan Verk, who I love. I used to work with Adnan all the time when we were both working for ESPN Radio, and we would host shows together all the time. Great dude, works now for MLB Network, big Blue Jays fan. But this is what he said to Bump and Stacy yesterday.
I always try to look at it in terms of thirds. Like Memorial Day definitely is a benchmark. I say to myself, okay, a team that is successful right now is in decent shape. I think it's something like 2/3 of teams who are in playoff position by Memorial Day end up making the playoffs. So I feel pretty good. And I definitely look at it more from a negative perspective. My team is struggling at Memorial Day. For example, the Orioles are almost 10 games under 500. They have been one of the bigger stories in the sport, just how bad they've been. So to me, if I'm the Orioles Memorial Day, I'm still not good. Then I start saying, okay, we've got to make some massive changes here, make some trades, and accept our fate.
Yeah, essentially saying like that Memorial Day deadline is much, much more significant for teams struggling. But for teams that are having success, yeah, there's some reason to buy in. Again, Mariners had a lot of success before Memorial Day last year, and then it all kind of went to crap in the middle part of the season. But I don't know. Some of it is unsustainable. But the way they've been winning games has been, I got to tell you, pretty impressive. 866-979-3776. Oh, here's Dano. Good morning, Dano.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call, Mike.
What's up?
Hey, I was a little worried because, Justin and I have a little thing going because I kind of hacked on him and he kind of hacked on me back.
Jeez, okay.
So I was hoping you were going to take my call.
All right, well, anyway, I did. So what's up?
Jalen Milroe, I can't believe how many teams passed on this guy. I'm 60 years old. I've been a Seahawks fan my entire life. So when I first saw Russell Wilson in 2012 run that read option, I was like, what is this? Had never seen it before. And Jalen Milroe, if you watch him run that read option, this guy is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe that if they run it right, in the red zone and stuff, that he could be a real contributor to the Hawks this season.
Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you, Dano. One of the things I love about the read option is what it does, not just for the quarterback, but for the running game in general and the running back. And we remember the whole Tom Cable idea of peanut butter and jelly with Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. And it was, look, Marshawn obviously helped Russ. No doubt about it, right? I mean, he commanded such attention that it helped Russ run and it helped Russ pass. It just helped everything. Marshawn was awesome. But that was also aided by Russ's ability to run the read option and keep that backside end from crashing down and able to change the count. It's great. I do think that guys who can run read option completely change not only, the passing game, but the run game by what they do to help their running backs. So, yep, I'm with you. I do like that element of it. Again, he's got to be able to throw well enough in order and make good decision-making enough to make it worthwhile. But, yeah, of course. Of course I'm interested in that. Yes, right there with you. 866-979-3776. Oh, here's our guy. Roger's in T-Town. What's up, Roger? Good morning. You must be happy the Seahawks got a guard.
They got a guard. They used a premium draft pick on him. I'm very happy. But I am actually calling to talk about Mariners. Can you believe that? They drafted a guard in the first round, and I don't want to talk about the guard.
Okay. Well, that's weird. I mean, that's kind of that's like the thing you're most known for in the world.
What am I going to do with myself? I mean, now the whole thing goes to die.
All right. Well, let me ask you, before you talk Mariners, let me ask you the question I asked everybody yesterday. Is the Seahawks' next franchise quarterback on their team right now?
That's the response. I don't think so. I'm trying to imagine. I had this problem with Geno too. I really like Geno, but can I imagine him winning 3 straight playoff games?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I kind of hit the wall. And so, I guess if you surround a team around him where you're not asking him to be a star, it's possible. I like the move, but I'm hesitant to say yes. And It's not Milroe, I don't think. But he was worth the draft pick because he has a high upside.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Mariners.
What's up with the Mariners?
Well, let me tell you what is sustainable. And I don't know when it happened because you got a lot of the same people, but their approach at the plate has been outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
They are not chasing nearly as much. They lead the league in walks. You know what they're doing? They're wearing out good starting pitching. Look at it. Skubal, 5. Crochet, 5. Eovaldi, 5. DeGrom, 5 and 4. They're getting him out of the game, because they are making them 7 innings, 7 pitches, 8 pitches, 10 pitches. They've learned to foul off tough pitches, and they're not chasing bad ones. So that is sustainable. If they keep that approach, You get more traffic on base, more walks, more people to drive in. They're not going to drive them in at the rate they've been doing. They're going to go through some struggles, but the approach is good. And what people don't really talk about, they're number 5 in defense, so they're catching the ball, and so it's a good brand of baseball. And I don't know where the credit pie goes. Is it Edgar? Is it Dan? Is it players? Is it all three? But they have changed. That team that used to swing at everything under the sun, they've become much more selective, and they are wearing out good starting pitching.
Yeah, it's interesting. Appreciate the phone call, Roger, as always. And just one of my favorites to ever call the show. Always love talking to Roger. Yeah, I nothing to disagree with there, right? I mean, obviously the approach has been pretty darn good. Obviously it's working. It's funny because I think taking walks was a huge part of what they were always trying to do. That's never changed. Walks and home runs, walks and home runs, walks and home runs. And those are the things that, again, those are the big things. The change, I think, has been more of some of the little things that I think we've seen them do a whole lot better through the last month and a half. 866-979-3776. Let me try Lynn and Lacey. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I'm calling because I'm so happy with the freaking Mariners right now. I always love my M's, but this season I am so inspired by how they're winning with their pitching not being the strength that we've relied on as in the past few seasons. I'm so excited to see what they're going to do the second half of this season. It's so amazing. It feels like we have a real team. They got each other's backs. The defense supports the offense. They both support the pitching. I just love them, and I cannot wait to see how far we get this season.
Well, appreciate
So
that,
excited.
Lynn. That's awesome. Yeah, I love the enthusiasm. The only thing I would say, hey, before we get to the second half, let's do the other 2 months of the first half. I mean, we still got a long way to go here. A long way to go. We're still into month 2. The first half is 3 months. So, we still got a long way to go. I guess we're a month and a half in, but we still got 2 months left in the first half. Then we can start thinking about the second half. But I mean, everything else, I'm with you. They are doing all those things, and the cool thing about doing it now is that you build on it. You build that confidence. You build that trust between everybody. And there is a lot of trust that just like in football and hockey and basketball, baseball does require a little trust. You have to believe that if you don't get a hit, the next guy will, in order to not grip the bat too tight, in order to not try to do too much, in order to not swing for the fences on 0-2 counts. You got to have a level of belief in the next guy. And the best way to do that is to have had some early success. So, yeah, you can survive. I've said this many times. Not predictive. You can survive a lack of success early. But there's certainly nothing wrong with early success. And if you can find a way to build on it, just better and better. 866-979-3776. Let's go with, who should we try? Sean in Kent. Hi, Sean. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Beautiful day. So last year, we were up 10 games in the division. And we are playing good, and we're in first place, and I'm so excited. Yes, we're relying on our batting and not so much on our pitching. Brash is coming back. Kirby's going to be coming back. Hogan's going to be coming back. So I'm super excited to see the full puzzle put together. The problem I'm dealing with is I'm more excited to see Dylan Moore in clutch events than Julio. And that needs to – he's heating up, and I appreciate it. But he needs to heat up as hot as it was in April at 70 already. So we need to get going.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no doubt Julio has not been sort of the story yet for the Mariners, and the fact that everybody else has hit so well has sort of covered for him. But there are some pretty positive signs here over the last week. His, sort of low points in April this year are not nearly as low as they were in April last year or the previous year. So, I don't know, man, Julio's going to have some hot months. That's just kind of who he is. That has never changed. Maybe it'll be June, maybe July. I don't know when it's going to be. He probably doesn't know when it's going to be. And guess what? Jorge Polanco and Dylan Moore and J.P. Crawford, they're probably going to cool off at some point. Doesn't mean they're going to be as bad as they were last year, but they're probably not going to hit at this level all year long. The hope, though, is that when that happens, you are able to get Julio to have one of those hot streaks and Randy to do kind of some of the stuff that he's able to do, and eventually Luke Raley return and some of the other things that this team can do. If that happens, you're going to win 90-plus games, you're going to be in the playoffs, and you're going to be a team to reckon with. And if not, yeah, there's going to be more disappointment here. It's kind of how it goes. 866-979-3776. Let me try, on those same lines. Cullen in Tacoma. Good morning, Cullen.
Good morning. How you doing?
Great.
I was hoping Brock was going to be here for this, but that's okay. I called about 10 months ago in June when Julio was really struggling, and we were talking about factors of maybe why that was.
Mm-hmm.
And I had brought up the fact that he maybe had been going through a breakup and how hard that could be. Well,
yes.
As of yesterday, Jordan, his ex-partner, posted a photo on her birthday, and there's an intimate photo of lower half of two people hugging, and there's a bracelet that says MARIN, and Julio liked the photo. So I think Julio got his girl back. I think the vibes are about to be back, and he's about to have a hot boy summer. Mariners roll. Let's go.
All right, I appreciate the call. I don't know. I try not to get too into the personal life. I don't know whether that is what's going on with Julio. I don't care to speculate on what's going on there, but I do like the fact that he's been hitting
Bill
the ball
Belichick
better.
speculation.
Yeah,
only.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to speculate on anything. It's going to be Bill and what's her name? Jordan? Yeah, let's stay there. 866-979-3776. How about who's been hanging on? Kent in Walla Walla. Kent, you've been hanging on the longest. Sorry about that. Good morning.
Oh, no problem. How are you doing,
I'm
Mike?
doing so good.
Good. Yeah, nice weather over here in Walla Walla too. I had my doubts at the end of last year. I go, is this nostalgia time for the Mariners? They're bringing back Edgar Martinez and Dan Wilson, but I got to say, it seems like a seems like a different ball club this year. I'm not in the clubhouse to see how Dan is with the players, but I'd just like to get your take on. I know he hasn't managed a whole year, but it just seems like the players are playing real well for him. What do you think?
Well, there's no doubt the players are playing well. I mean, obviously they're in first place by a couple of games, and they've just won 9 series in a row. So that much is pretty obvious. Look, it's hard. We've gone through a lot of stretches where the Mariners have played well here over the last few years, and a lot of stretches where we've talked about the incredible chemistry that they've had and number of one-run games that they've won and believe big and all, breaking that long drought and everything else that the Mariners have done. So I don't know if I would, I hesitate to go too far, but there's no doubt that all of those things are true right now. I just don't need to comp them to the past. I would just say yes. Right now, Dan's doing a great job. He's got the group playing hard. He's got them playing well. He's got them playing clean, all things that absolutely matter. Some of the in-game conversations, I think, are different than the way I would handle a lot of in-game decision-making, and I'm curious where those things will go because I don't know whether, they fit with the full organizational philosophy at times, but as long as they're working, it doesn't really matter. As I said, you can play screwy blackjack hands for a long time and not play the book, and you may win money in the short term. Eventually, though, the odds will kind of come back around, and so I'm curious if some of that will adjust over time because I just don't think you can get away with going against the book forever and continue to make money. But in the meantime, they're winning. And there's a belief factor there, and the guys buy into that. And if that's going down, it's really all that matters. 866-979-3776. Let me try who's been hanging on. Owen in Anacortes. Oh, nice. What's up, Owen? Love Anacortes.
Yeah, how's it going, Mike?
Good, buddy.
Good. Just wanted a quick shout-out to my Grandma Lynn, Grandpa Mike. They introduced me to the Mariners. They've been longtime season ticket holders.
Cool.
But yeah, just wonderful couple. Love them. So, real quick, I think in England, they call them supporters for a reason. I think people here are getting a little too, I think we're too spoiled and we're too critical. I keep seeing all these critiques online and it's just, I can't take it anymore. We got to back our team once in a while. You got to appreciate and be grateful for where we're at. I mean, 9 straight series wins is ridiculous. Yeah, man, I think got a lot on my mind, but Julio, I think he's the guy, and I think people are expecting, we're used to Ichiro, used to Griffey, but Julio, we gotta appreciate him for who he is.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna jump in here, Owen. I gotta tell you, I just disagree. I just disagree. I just not how I'm wired. I'm sorry, and maybe it's the East Coaster in me. I appreciate it, and if that's the direction you like to have your fandom, I'm not going to tell you how to fan. Like, cool.
No, yeah.
So be a supporter. Go in that direction. I'm just not wired like that. If my team isn't doing the things that I want them to do to win, I'm here for them to win. I'm here to win championships. That's the goal. Always and forever. So I that's not me. It's just not. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I just got to be more supportive of this player and everything will work out. Like, I just don't agree with that. You call guys out when they're not doing well enough and you praise the heck out of them when they are. Again, people can do it a lot of different ways. That's not for me. 866-979-3776. Let me keep going here. Let me grab, David in Paulsbo. Hi, David. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Great. So first thing, I've got to tell you were the first announcer in sports in my 40 years of teaching who chewed Brock out for never having heard of Plato and the allegory of the cave. You said, did you even go to school? I loved it.
I don't know how you get through school without knowing allegory of the cave. That feels like a pretty basic one.
Pretty
but
sure that
okay.
was Lyle.
Yeah, it was Lyle, not Brock, but still.
I got to admit, I've been enjoying that ever since.
No, thank you. Well, I appreciate that.
Okay, so I need a history lesson, and you're the only one who can supply it. I mean, granted, I'm 104, but what do good teams do at the trade deadline to move up to great?
All right, good question.
What should we demand or expect of the Mariners?
Great question.
And at that point, would you at any point include Julio in a package?
Absolutely, 100% no. Let's start there. No, nay, never. No, absolutely not. And with a little more no thrown in at the end of that. I would not, at least as of now, include Julio in a package like that. It is very rare that a significant contributor on a team that is trying to make the playoffs gets dealt at the deadline. It happens. Generally because there's some sort of a problem in the clubhouse. The only real example of that I can think of off the top of my head is Nomar Garciaparra in 2004. Maybe there's others, but there was an issue there. They needed to make a change. There's no issue that I know of with Julio Rodriguez that fits into that narrative. Could he be better? Yes. Do I think that we'll be having a different conversation by July? Yes. I think that's sort of Julio's track record. In history, what do you do to get better at the deadline, to go from good to great? It's different for every team, but the number one rule for me is you show your team at the deadline that you believe in them. You show your team at the deadline that you believe in them. It is why, even though I understand the arguments around specifically the Kendall Graveman trade, it was a mistake. Even though it made sense in various ways from Jerry's point of view, it was a mistake because you did not show your team that you believed in them. And I think the goal at the deadline is to show your team, I believe in you. The front office believes in you. We think you've got it, and we're going to invest more to make you even better. And then it's different for every team. Do you need an outfielder? Do you need relief pitching? You always need more pitching. Always. You always need more pitching. So can you get a sixth starter? Can you get an extra reliever, another leverage arm, or even a non-leverage arm that helps provide enough depth for those innings that you need eaten up in the pen? Can you bring in another bat, a pinch hitter, a defensive replacement? It depends what your team needs. That, to me, is when you start looking for, how do you shore up weaknesses? Unless there is a gigantic kind of difference maker available. Remember Carlos Beltran moving at the deadline or someone along those lines. It doesn't happen very often. Certainly not anymore. So if you're not going to be able to get the ultimate difference maker, what do you got to do to go good to great? Fill up some of your holes. And they'll have holes. I mean, they do now, and they'll be even a little bit more obvious, I think, by July. We'll know really what they are. First base right now seems like a big one. We'll see where Ben Williamson's at and what third base looks like. We'll see if Polanco can keep this going. And those are all conversations for June and July. For now, I'm with a lot of you. Just said, hey, this is fun. It's fun to get excited about it. It's fun to watch them win. It's fun to watch the bats come alive for the first time. And now you got Toronto coming to town for a weekend series, followed by the Evil Empire from New York showing up here on Monday. Fun week. Fun week. Lyle, go get some sleep, buddy.
All right.
I think you're tired from throwing out that first pitch. And I'm with Brock. Paxton, James Paxton, if you're out there, do not climb up to the mound. We don't need you hurt. Stay at the bottom. Poor guy. Stick Riz. I don't need Stick Riz crying in the outfield. All right, Bump and Stacy are up next. We'll see you guys on Monday morning. Pete Carroll next week. Just a reminder, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pete Carroll will join us. Looking forward to that. And until Monday, the hay is in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper! Bump and Stacy.
Nick Imanwari's college coach, head coach of South Carolina, Shane Beamer, joining us.
Hey, Coach, how do you think his game translates to the NFL?
He's got such a skill set because of his size and athleticism. He really can do so much from a coverage standpoint, from knowing what Seattle does defensively. And I think they like guys that are multifaceted and can do a lot.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Seattle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come to work for IRG. With just over 40 locations in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, you have the opportunity to work in the city and place you want with a great team, a great atmosphere, and great mentorship.
Shannon, what type of staff are you looking to hire? Is it just clinical staff right now?
We are looking to hire not only physical therapists, but also occupational therapists, exercise techs, athletic trainers, front office coordinators. We have a whole platform of different services we provide to the community.
Over 40 clinics in the Pacific Northwest. There are openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers and apply today. But Shannon, will they have any fun coming to work at IRG?
Oh my gosh, Brock, that's what it's all about. We want to have fun. We're all about passion. We're all about positivity. We want people to change lives. That's what we're doing here at IRG. We're changing lives, not only of our employees, our patients, and our communities. We want you to be your best self.
So head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers, and apply today.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast